I look and see it's not just me.
Jack, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand, we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense, but it makes.
Well, yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling's always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
Yes! I look and see it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand, we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand, we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Get wild! Yay!
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah!
No! Damn God!
Yay!
No! Damn God!
Ladies and gentlemen, shit's about to hit the fan.
The system is broken. It was time for a revolution. We could be the wrestlers that we want to be.
We have our own stories. We make our own characters.
Different. That's what makes us elite.
I've been forced to vacate the AEW World Trios Championship.
Fun created a revolution.
Show days, super chaotic. A lot of times we get here and we don't know what we're doing till hours, minutes before we go out there.
There literally are, I think some weeks, 100 talents running around backstage.
At that point, it caught Tony Khan's ear, and he started thinking, maybe I want to do this, and let's get together. And I guess the rest is history, right?
We're just getting started, but it's a great fight to start a great night.
Orange Cassidy in serious trouble.
This will be fun, right? I'm excited. Ready to go? Go to break.
Figured out what works as a heel in the ring for me.
Austin wants to be here so bad.
Is it a break spot?
Not yet.
We need to build an army right now.
It was good. That's a good match.
You thought everything looked okay? Yeah. I just feel like...
You tonight.
That was big.
No! Damn it! We've seen this time and time again out of Jericho and Guevara.
That's awesome. That was great. Ah! Yes! Sick!
He's going to take it! And Claudio Castagnoli.
Is that heavy, Tony?
No. I gave you extra time. Fix it up. Fix the break for right now. Go. They're really flying through. Hey! That was great. That was perfect.
1, 2,
Are you okay? That was great. Way to get him up the end. You got him back. That was great. Pick him up. That was a great finish.
Oh, yeah.
Going into the card rundown. We'll feel out the ending, and then we'll go into the card rundown bumpers.
With Ty Mello, Dr. Ty and Anna, and Will Nightingale taking Britt Baker with Sky in her sights, and now Sky Blue goes down. My catcher, the team match right there. JD Hater coming up right now. The Elite versus Death Triangle.
The sooner you get to the Death Triangle, the better, man.
Good. All right, the Bucks are attacking. Oh, this.
We're good. We got a minute or so. We want to get him going. Get him off this.
Mox charging right back at Hangman. Now,
I like this.
I don't think I've ever seen him hit with an elbow like that. Oh, modern day pro wrestling. Danielson.
We're doing good. We're doing good on time. This is good. Hey, hometown hero. Way to go. Welcome back. Yeah, it's great.
Welcome back.
Loved it.
Welcome back.
Hey, welcome back. You okay?
Oh, I'm great.
Whenever you're ready to get it going.
A secret.
What's happening, guys? I'm talking into a muted mic. Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Live Show. Yeah. I am your host, Phil Marks, and I'm back with another one. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? I hope you like the new additions to the intro. I see in the chat, you never know what you're going to get, and that's true. George Capture, what's up, Yippee? Look at me with the milestone. Hit that like on your way in. Listen to George Capture. There's already 100 of you in here, yeah. I appreciate you all. Round of applause for you guys. As we get started, had to shovel some food down my gullet. And I'm here. I did a podcast earlier today with Marie Shadows. And we want to duke on. Me and him are going to get into a big argument over CM Punk. But that's going to happen next week. I also have some big stuff coming in the next month. I got some WWE royalty coming on. I got some, just some cool stuff lined up for you guys in the next month or two. But we're blowing up without all that. Okay, we don't need gimmicks and bells and whistles here. As I hit my soundboard. Maybe we do. Maybe a little bit. How you all doing? I'm doing good. So, yeah, I've been a little off with uploadings of the clips, and I try not to let anything affect the live show, but obviously I haven't uploaded as many episodes of PWT podcast. So youtube.com/@prowrestletimes is where you find the podcast. Full length primarily, and I've been slacking because I've been going through some medical shit. Now I don't bring it to the show because I don't want to bum you guys out. This is truly my fun time too, you know what I mean? So I don't want to make it about all that, so don't worry about me. I got this weird thing going on. The treatments are working, so we should be good. And I hope it hasn't affected the show in any way, but you've gotten less podcasts. And because I've just been trying to rest and all that. You guys know what I'm saying? Consider becoming a member of either or both channels. It's only 99 cents. Run those likes up to 100. There's already 102 of you in here, so might as well 111 now. Look at how that just jumped. So might as well run them up to 100, and then I'll just stop asking. And I'm doing all right, and I'm happy to be here. Guys, this is very important. I need you all to hear this, okay? Tell everybody you know. Friday for TNA Emergence. We're going live. What? Hold on a second. Friday for TNA Emergence. We're going live. Saturday morning for Bash in Berlin. We're going live. What? And on Sunday, we're going to drink some damn beer and go live for NXT No Mercy. What? So, that's going down. We're going to do a triple header. I don't know. I'm embracing the grind, bro. I've been incredibly tired. You know what I mean? And that's because I've been on a shitload of IV antibiotics. I keep going in and out of the hospital. They fill me up with IVs full of antibiotics. And That's over though. Now I'm just like on pills and stuff. So don't worry about me, guys. We're holding it together. Maybe it's all the AEW making me sick. I don't know. Maybe it's all the Meltzer. I think it's since I started covering that asshole, I think my health's deteriorated a little bit. But no, we're keeping it together. We're here for a fun time. Dynamite's about to start. To be honest, like, are we like they announced what's on the show? Are we even interested in that, Chad? I don't even think. I'm not trying to be a hater, but all of a sudden, Roddy Strong's in another random 8-man tag with not his faction. It's like, holy shit! Are we gonna do this every show ever, forever? You know what I mean? It's pretty kooky. So we'll have it on, but really what I want to do is dive into this Jim Cornette. Everybody's been asking me, Phil, what do you think? And it's a little bit of old news, but it's relevant, and I let it all play out before I just give my thoughts on it before everybody. Dave Scheer didn't even get all of his thoughts out, right? So Dave Scheer, great guy, never met him. We think he's a ledge. He's got heat with Brian Last and Jim Cornette, and the fans they didn't turn on Jim and Brian, but they were like, Jim and Brian. So I don't know. I didn't dive deep into this. I didn't listen to everyone's takes. I didn't read all the tweets. I just bookmarked them. Eyes shut. We're going to react to it together. Obviously, Dynamite's on. I'll give my comments on that. And Dave Meltzer is just a dumb goof, and I got a bunch of bookmarks, and we're going to dive right into them, play some flutes for Dave. But I want to see you guys run those likes up. Do I got to plug anything? Yeah, so at Pro Wrestle Times is the main channel. At Pro Wrestle Clips or is the long form channel. At Pro Wrestle Clips is the main channel where you get videos like, you know, the little remix there, or 10 minutes of Tony Khan that I played at the top of the show here. And also, you know, there's clips that, so on the live show, I had to edit out all of the funny Aubrey Edwards, Tony Khan stuff that I clipped, right? And from them in Cardiff, like during the commercial breaks, like Aubrey dancing and Tony Khan giving a cringe ass Time Cop promo again. And nobody else clipped those. I'm the only one that I've seen so far. And they Don Stevens. I had the picture. If you guys aren't a part of the community, go and check out the YouTube community there. I try and do posts there as often as I can. And I took a screen grab and showed you guys. They copyright struck like fucking, or I don't know, they claimed like every second of those videos that I played. It's hilarious. There was like 11 claims on the one video. So I uploaded that to Patreon, and everything that I'm unable to, I guess, watch with you guys because they want to pull down, I'm going to do it on Patreon, and I'm going to be more active on there. So consider checking that out as well. And yeah, I plugged everything I got to plug. Let me get to super chats and to the chat. You what? For $2.
You what?
Thank you, Chrissy. Yeah. Yes, legit though. Yeah, I've been sickly, dude. An infection, a poison, you know. Rick71 for $10. I'm so done with Brian Last. Oh shit. Let's get right into it, folks. We're going to just dive right into the Brian Last, Jim Cornette drama. But for $10, Rick71 wanted to say here on Pro Wrestle Times live show, I am so done with Brian Last. I've unsubscribed from all Jim Cornette stuff because of Last. That dude has LDS something awful. Super cringe.
You what?
Okay, so I'm going to discover this with you guys because I didn't learn to, I didn't learn myself nothing, as Jim Cornette was trying to make a clever play off, but it didn't work. I'm botching here. I'm tired. Okay. Anyways, I did not keep up with it all because I wanted to do it live. So I'm going to do it with you guys here, and we'll see. Brian Last has cringed me out in the past before, but not enough to where I'm like, I'm unsubscribing, you know, but just like, and it was nothing he was even saying on the show. It was like just people telling stories about like Vince Russo was at his bat mitzvah or whatever. He's a kid, whatever. You can't, and not saying that's a problem. Like, honest to God, like, who cares if he was best friends with Vince Russo? That doesn't, whatever, you know. And then just him like strong arming people in the podcast world, but I don't know if there's validity to that. Like, those are just people's claims, right? So that's cringed me out a little, where I'm like, oh, if that's true. But otherwise, I've been pretty cool with Last, as far as like just my interpretation. I don't know him, right? Great guy, never met him, but Jim, of course, is the legend, and especially in the wrestling podcasting space. So I'm gonna learn about all of this with you guys. If you're not familiar, I didn't keep up with it all, and I was busy with stuff. But LDS something awful. Is that like something derangement syndrome or something like that? I'm unfamiliar, but thank you so much for the super chat, and let's dive right in after I get to these next couple ones. Mark A. Hicks 2 has been a member for 5 months.
Great.
That's bananas, dude. Thank you. It's incredible. Thank you so much. And Lincoln Hawk, good to see you here, brother. It's good to see you here again. $5 says TNA Victory Road is in SA next month. SA means a lot of things on YouTube these days, brother. No, I'm just joking with you. We all know what you mean. Let me know if you want anything from the show, my dude. Damn. Just send me like pictures of merch. I'm kind of like investigating. I want to just compare all of the companies, right? So I got Marie Shadows is going to be at the MLW show tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow, yeah. And I'm going to get her to send pictures of merch, and I just want to know. I'm investigating. And yeah, just follow me on X if you don't, at Pro Wrestle Times. And thank you so much for the super chat, and that's excellent. Victory Road's going to be awesome, and Emergence is going to be awesome. Friday, make sure you all tune in. I'm going to be live Friday night. We're doing a triple header. Unless my health completely deteriorates. And then, but I don't think that should happen. And thank you so much for that, Lincoln Hawk. Okay. Oh, little dick syndrome. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Okay. I mean, sure. I'll discover this with you guys. So I have a bunch of bookmarks, and it's funny because I did save it in the IWC sickos category, and I decided that the IWC sickos segment, right? It's not just for whack jobs and whatever. It's also just for like the IWC drama and all of that shit. And we'll just refer to ourselves as the sickos. Let's be honest. We all love pro wrestling. It's kind of a weird thing to begin with. But so it's going to be laughing at marks. It's going to be when personalities are going at it, accounts from the IWC we all know or whatever. I'm just going to bring it to the show if it's relevant. And when there's like IWC, because technically they are feuding Dirt Sheet and Podcaster guys, so it's exactly. We all love pro wrestling, and it's kind of sick. It's kind of fucking weird, dude. How we just like willingly willingly let ourselves be hypnotized, like all that. But okay, so this might be a little out of order. Bear with your boy Phil, okay? I've been a little busy, but I got it all. If you guys don't see here, I got a whole treasure trove in here to celebrate. This is a celebration, okay? And with it, we got to give some Disturbed, okay? AEW is now on the air from Champaign, Illinois. Tony Khan's hometown. This is great. It'll be amazing. Okay, so the great Brian Last says, I told the truth. Everyone knows Dave Scherer has always been jealous of Meltzer. This is not new. Well, it's new to me, folks. He knew who I was when he blindly emailed me his idiot thoughts on the stock market. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about, but that's funny. Pretends he's a big shot. Oh, shit. Doesn't everybody? Everyone tells me he's a line cook. Okay, but like, if he is, like, and you know what I mean, dude? I saw a video of like Young Jock, the rapper, I think, driving Uber. You know what I mean? Are we going to shame people, Brian? That's kind of cringy. Okay. Tell him to go work on my steak. Dave Scherer says, I have no idea why pay-to-play Brian Last took a shot at me today. I didn't even know who the guy was before he paid to play with Jim Cornette. Okay, now David Scherer going rank on Last, and he said this first. So this is kind of calling him paid to play. What is that in reference to? Like how he like pays wrestlers to do a show and stuff like that or something, or like to do podcasts with him? I have no idea. We're going to decipher this as we go. He sure as hell didn't know me in 1995. They're arguing about 95. Then again, he was partners with Bixenspan before he dumped him for Cornette. So, okay, so Bixenspan is a goober, right? We all agree? As John Moxley makes his return in Champaign, Illinois to an empty row of people standing literally next to an empty row of people. Sorry, not trying to be rude, but that's what it is. Anyways, so chat, what are we talking about here with I don't know, they're both taking these personal jabs. They clearly both know each other and they're trying to talk like they don't know each other, right? Okay, for pay to see content. Okay, yeah. Here we go. I have no idea. Oh, sorry. I already read that one. Okay. Sorry, guys. I'm also glancing over at the television. So Brian last responds and says, the frumpy bitch who used to be the ECW house shill. I don't know what that means. Okay. Who the hell is Dave Scherer? Excuse me. So Brian last continues and goes, pardon me, guys. Big bitch Scherer starting again. I sat next to the mustached wimp. Oh my God. At the ECW arena a few times. So this is like 90s beef, man. Maybe he is losing his memory the way he accuses Meltzer of losing his. He started the lariat when he was friends with Meltzer. I found out about it when it was mentioned in the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Okay. And then he said he sat next to me, which I don't remember, and that means he knows me. I wasn't friends with Meltzer. I started the lariat 95 because Meltzer was lying to Rubes. Like you, Brian, anyone with a brain knows the real story, which no, they keep going like everybody knows this. And it's like, nobody knows this. At least I don't, Chad. Am I ignorant? I'm like, I don't know about any of this. So let's continue. And sorry if I'm cutting out, dude. It's storming here and my internet's it cut out literally like 3-4 times today already. So I apologize if I'm a little Robetronic, to steal Jack Black's joke. So he sat next to me. I don't remember. Okay, we read that one. Dave Scherer says, this is my last post on Brian Last, since he just tweeted that I threatened to write a hit piece on him if he didn't change his slogan. Here's the email from myself, Brian, Mike J, and Jim Cornette. As you can see, it's friendly and no threats were made. Last is a liar. So this part has popped me. So Scherer, do I read these emails? This feels so like gross. You know what I mean? Hey, Jim, and I guess Brian. Like they're already going at it. They don't like each other back then, you know. Here's 2023 or whatever. I got another question about it today. It specifically asked about Brian saying no paywalls and mentioned that the slogan is on his site too. Since Brian didn't answer here, I can't really say anything publicly other than Brian didn't answer. So is Brian Last slogan no paywalls and then he has shows with paywalls? Because if that's the case, like, I'm sorry, but like he has tons of free content as well. Brian does. So if he uses free content to then also have a paywall thing, there's nothing wrong with that. It's people's choice whether or not they want to, you know, support or get involved with that. But if it's like, if his thing's like, I'll never make you pay, and then he's making people pay, then that's a whole other story. But again, I don't know what the truth is. Chad will have to smarten me up here. Didn't answer what I was asked, and he didn't answer me. So I'm guessing David shares like, hey, Brian, your slogan's this, but you make people pay. Okay. I guess my body odor makes it all the way to wherever he lives. Seriously, I don't want to make this into something, so I will just respond to elite subscribers in email and ignore the free site readers that ask. Whatever the case, if there is no issue, cool. If there is an issue, well, that paywall is the reason Mike and I can pay our bills. I will never apologize for making sure Mike and I get paid for our hard work. Yeah, never do. Hi, Dave. Brian and I were on the phone when I answered you, so I told him I was replying to you. Nothing to do with your stunning BO. There's no issue. It's an advertising line. Send us the names of everyone who asked this question, and we'll cuss them out in public on our next show. This is ridiculous for these people to be bugging you with their bullshit. Yeah, and JC's just like, okay, what do you want? Like, okay, you're getting asked about shit. We'll roast them. You know what I mean? And just understand it. Like, so it's just like a slogan, you know? Okay. You know, like my slogan on my YouTube is the best pro wrestling clips on the internet and the best wrestling podcast on the internet. Is that true? I mean, that's subjective, right? So it's just a slogan. So you can't fucking call me out for if you don't think it is, you know? So yeah, I'm with JC there all the way. So moving along, guys. So Brian Last goes, stop being a lying cunt. Sorry, YouTube. Dave, own up to your insecurity. It isn't my fault that your business is on the way out. It's yours. Now it's getting ugly. Why are you afraid to admit to people that you were Meltzer's friend until you became jealous of him? Okay, now we need to, there has to be proof of the jealousy. Otherwise, friends fall out all the time. And I could see why an ex-friend would be like calling out an ex-friend or something. You know what I mean? So jealousy remains to be seen. We'll discover as we go. And here are your first 2 emails you left out. Here we go. Hey, y'all. Hope you're doing well. I've had a number of people ask me, including in the Q&A, if you guys are taking a shot at pwinsider.com when you talk about your site and say that nothing is behind a paywall. Bro, that could be a myriad. Dude, that could be Fightful. That could be anyone, man. If you take personal offense, Dave Scherer, you should not be taking personal offense to that. It's like, don't let that shit apply to you if it doesn't apply to you. And if people are asking you, then fucking ignore them or just say, no, they're not, or I'll ask them. And then we'll see what happens. So maybe he is being nice and asking, but like, why even go out of your way, dude, to even like worry about this? That's pretty crazy. I know you aren't, obviously. Well, then if you know you aren't, then don't ask them, or send screenshots of all the shit and then be like, here's what people are saying. Can you just clarify this? Or, hey, I'll come on your show and let's clarify that, or whatever. You know what I mean? I know you aren't, obviously, and I write each person that asks me that back and say that we love you guys and have a great relationship. To make my life easier, could you drop that line from your promos? Dude, no. Yeah, dude. Okay. Now it's like you got away on the corny last side so far, because, and hold on, I love Dave Scherer, you guys know this, but hold on. You can't ask someone to change the way they do shit because you're feeling some type of way about the way, and it's not direct. If you know that you guys are cool, then don't fucking assume otherwise. And if it's making you feel some type of way, cut them out. Don't even do all this. So I don't know. And I'm not blaming Dave for just asking a question and being like, no, we're cool. But then to go on and say, yo, can you please remove that from what? Like this, from like, that's like telling The Rock, hey man, I really stink in real life. So can you not go, can you smell what you're cooking, bro? Like, like almost, maybe not to that degree. I'm not saying that promo line they use is worth as much money as a good old, if you smell a la, but you guys know what I'm saying with that, right? Like, it's like that's, I don't know. To me, I'd be like, no. Anyways, Dave goes again and says, did you guys get this? If you want to keep up the paywall comments, just let me know so I can answer the question once on the site and be done with it. But no, dude, because so Dave's already asserted that in his own mind, if they don't change that line, then he is, then that means it's a barb at him. Now, provided this is 3 days later, so respond to him, but also I tell you guys to email me and I don't fucking get back to them all, because if I open my inbox, which I won't do on air, I have so much emails, it's crazy. And not just from your guys' shit, but other shit like Apple I'm going back and forth with for like a fucking year, which finally, guys, by the way, you don't have to manually put the RSS feed in if you're on Apple Podcasts. We're just on Apple Podcast. Let's go here. We'll give Apple finally acknowledged us.
Acknowledge me.
It took like a year. I just couldn't get verified. It was the dumbest shit ever I had to do. I don't even want to explain what it ended up being at the end of it all. And it wasn't like an oversight. It's just like a weird glitch in their matrix of, I don't know. It's weird. I had to go through Reddit posts. It was a wild year trying to get on Apple, to say the least. Anyways, enough about me. More on these guys. So, okay, I don't know. I'm not like choosing sides here. I'm just being the observer. Shout out Dave Meltzer. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm just observing here. I'm neutral here. I like all these gentlemen, and this is very personal, so it's not like, oh, this guy's holding L's or whatever. But Dave shouldn't have asked them to change their slogan in the first place. That's weird. But he goes, yeah, so he dropped, we read that. Check this out. Lion Brian posted this as proof that I threatened to write a hit piece on him. So, okay, yeah. So maybe you could interpret that as a threat to be a hit piece, but it doesn't seem threatening at all, like saying, I'm just going to answer the question to the people on the site, you know? But I see how Brian could interpret that as like, nah, they're going to, you know, write it into a blog fucking trashing us or something. But at the same time, that's not the vibe I got from it. But again, this isn't personal to me. So Dave Scherer says, I was told my business is failing and I have no idea how to invest money. So I feel extra lucky that I was able to somehow come up with the money to see Bruce for the second time in 3 nights before I leave my shore house for my home in Las Vegas. Imagine if I were competent. Jesus Christ, bro. Do you have to flex any harder? Some of us don't even own a house, let alone fucking a shore house and a home in Vegas. So no, don't flex your shit, dude. It's all good. But yeah, okay. And your business isn't failing. And even if you own a business and are a line cook, shout you out. Damn, it's hard to tell. Now I got tagged in a bunch of stuff here. So here's David Death Music, David Dexter, who's a great PWT, like day oneer, man, like early days, 10 subs days. He's one of them for real. So Brian Last and Jim Cornette, here, this person, I guess, made a video. Maybe I'll circle back to this because this is apparently just like a recap of everything. But I want to actually watch the Jim Cornette and hear Brian's stuff if you guys are into that. Ishii's fighting Hangman, so, and the camera just blacked out in the middle of the broadcast, so, and I'm not kidding. That's what's going on Dynamite. So Brian Last goes, I'll remind you again, dickless. I'm the man you cried about in emails to Cornette after I exposed you. I'm the man you tried to get to engage you in financial talk. Okay, he keeps going back to that. I'm the man whose no paywall causes you to act like the bitch you are. Rebrand. PW Insider is a 0. Damn. Thank you. Whoever he is can keep acting like a child. No worries. Damn. You guys clearly know each other. Stop pretending. Both of you. Tisk on the pretensies. Okay, so we're going to jump over to YouTube. We're going to share this tab. This is a long This is a long ass video here. So let's listen to it, and I'm gonna give my thoughts. I'm gonna show you out to Jim Cornette. Like, don't YouTube strike me for this. Don't Don Stevens me. Sorry, pardon me. We got to use code names. No, but yeah, I'm a neutral party. I'm gonna give my thoughts, and this is a long one, so I don't have timestamps or anything. If anybody does, that would be cool. If anybody can maybe tag me, but I'm just going to hit play and see where this goes for the most part.
Jim, if you don't mind, I have something to say here. Recently, there's been a little bit of a back and forth on Twitter with myself and someone who most of you probably don't know. His name's Dave Scherer. He is a guy.
So I am saying it right.
Who used to have a newsletter. He was an ECW fan in the bleachers. He then started a website in the early 2000s and seemingly never worked on it ever again after that. Started a website back then and has been really riding the coattails of the fantastic reporting of Mike Johnson, who does a very good job and seems to be rather diligent in what he does. Problem is, he works for a guy named Dave Scherer. Dave Scherer, I knew a little bit in the 90s. He's made this into a little bit of a big deal that I claim I knew him and he doesn't know me. Yeah, someone else told me a similar story about him too. But in the 90s, when I was a teenage fan going to different things.
You guys are fucking teenagers, dude. I don't remember people I went to high school with. For real, like, it's crazy. This is a wild argument. For two dudes, like, to be even having at this stage in their lives. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, shout out Mike Johnson, for real. He does do his diligence, and he's great. He's great. That's why it's shitty shitting on PW Insider. because it's like now that's reflective on Mike Johnson, and he's great.
I got to know lots of different people. And not only did I know Dave Shearer, not only did I sit next to him in the ECW arena, not only was he in my hotel room making phony phone calls with us, you could ask Devin Storm about that, but when I made my famous Bubba Must Die sign that I held up when Bubba Ray Dudley was a babyface in the ECW arena with my bed sheet from the hotel room and red marker, he was one of the people who helped me hold it up because he knew I had the sign because I brought it because he was scared to do anything. Because it was hanging out with Shearer and everyone and hearing how everyone hated Bubba Ray Dudley for real, not because he was a babyface. They didn't like him. Everyone was afraid to do anything, but they wanted to send a message to Heyman. I did something.
Well, and I remember that caused quite a stir.
And I did something. And Shearer's in the video holding it up with me. But again, a long time ago, I kind of did other things.
It's crazy that Brian Last was the dude who made that sign. Legend.
Shearer kept doing what he was doing. Did some stuff with Bob Ryder, I know. So all these years later, he has this PW Insider website, which is one of the many wrestling news websites. It has a paywall where you subscribe and you get access to, I guess, their content without just an endless stream of suspicious-looking ads. I don't know what the fuck is happening on that website. You can get stuck on that website.
I tried to look at the basic one again, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
It could cause epilepsy. It's just a fucking flash mob of fucking weirdo ads. But anyway, that's what he does. We do this. I do my thing. In case anyone hasn't noticed, I just do my thing. I don't.
I'ma do my thing. Is that Miley Cyrus? Babe, is that my... Yeah, that's Miley Cyrus. Okay.
Other people. I do my thing. But if you take a jab at me, I'm going to fucking take out my Uzi and I'm going to spray the room over and over and over again.
Okay. Shooting up the club. Babe, who's that, T-Pain? Yeah. Jesus Christ. I'm going to pull out my Uzi. Okay, who else tells a Uzi? Isn't it like Eric Bischoff and Sonny Ono or whatever? Talking about answering the door with an Uzi and shit. Okay, calm down. Now, he doesn't mean it literally, obviously. But figuratively, he's gonna Uzi everyone if they come at him. So please, Brian Last, reserve your Uzi for me. I'm simply Uatu here. I'm just observing. And yeah, we'll continue. It's like, all right, these guys just don't like each other. And clearly it's because for something like deeper than maybe someone's willing to admit. Let's just continue along and see where we go with this, guys. I'll call the action. Ishii's about to superplex Hangman. It's been going for far too long already.
So we have nothing to do with Dave Shearer. You always said very nice things about his website and, of course, Mike Johnson's reporting.
Because Mike Johnson is the nicest man in the world. And, yes, we've always said nice things about the elite site. Let's make it plain.
Right. And at various points, they gave me a comp because they wanted us to talk about, the website over there and give them free publicity, which we did for, a little while when talking about stories that they wrote or Mike Johnson wrote.
We were happy to do it.
So somewhere along the way, Dave Shearer thought he should send me his thoughts on the stock market. It was, let me pull up the email here, because it was like, I heard that you like investing. Let me get the exact quote, because it's the one that I started laughing about with people.
Dude, he's trying to be friends with you, Brian. What the fuck, man? Are you really... Is this how this whole thing started? You're about to tell me that he tried to reach out and be like, hey, I'm really into investing too, and you're into investing, and he just, man, I could tell y'all stories. Years ago, I met one of my idols who fucking, like, I was on a similar platform at, I would just say that. I don't know how to explain it, right? Like someone that I'm like seeing eye to eye with, but someone that realistically I idolize, and I fucking fumbled and bumbled and and Dumbled. They say don't meet your heroes because they're an asshole. Don't meet your heroes if you're if you're gonna make an ass out of yourself. You know what I mean? That's another thing. So Scherer made a little ass out of himself, just trying to reach out to you about some investing stuff, trying to be friendly, more than just a hey, plug our shit and I'll give you a free thing. Like, you're a prominent figure and like maybe I could come on the show or something. Who knows if that's what his end game was, but he's trying to be friendly, and you so far you were laughing about it with other people. That's kind of shitty, dude, you know, but we're all not perfect. I understand. So let's just see where this goes. But my first reaction's like, come on, dude. He's just trying to reach out, man. He just bumbled around. He just looks up to you and wanted to fucking find a way in to bro down with you. You know what I mean? I'm sure you guys know what I mean.
Hold on. If I remember correctly, you have done very well financially. I have too, thanks to, indirectly, Meltzer, and more so, investing. Are you an investor? I don't do day trading, so I miss out on the Robinhood stuff, but I love to invest and watch wealth grow. Look, at this point, I was like, I don't want to fucking talk.
That's cringe as fuck. Yeah, I wouldn't respond to that either. I'm back on Brian last. It's like a roller coaster here, folks. You don't know who I'm going with.
Financial shit with this fucking schlubby boob. I know Dave Scherer. I know who he is. He's a moron. I would never, nor would I think anyone else should ever take financial advice from him or share financial advice with him or do anything in that realm with him. So again, knowing that you have a good relationship with them, I try to be courteous, and I just say I've done fairly well. I'm an investor, not a trader. I'm not a fan of the Robinhood-like companies. Then he sends me a whole nother thing about his thoughts on the stock market. Then he sends me some fucking newsletter he wants me to subscribe to because he gets his stock tips from there. At that point, I stopped responding because...
Yes, because...
Yeah, fuck that. Yeah, that's annoying as shit and silly.
We had things going on. I can't remember. You were telling me this concurrently that it was going on. Was that when your dad was sick or you were moving the house or whatever? You don't have time.
This is just unsolicited. Why is he sending me this? Why is this guy who I don't have anything to do with sending me his financial advice and wanting me to get this new, like, what the fuck is this? So that's that. I drop it. Move on.
Just drop it. Move on.
So then all of a sudden, a while later, an email comes to you and me and Mike Johnson from Dave Scherer. It's an email entitled Quick Favor.
Can I take over for a second here? Because I want to read.
Don't forget this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going live for TNA Emergence, Bash in Berlin, and NXT No Mercy. Your boy loves the grind. Here's Jim Cornette.
Yeah,
certainly.
I want to read that particular email. This is from Dave Scherer. This was back in the middle of June 19th. Hey all, hope you're doing well. I have had a number of people ask me if you guys are taking a shot at pwinsider.com when you talk about your site and say that nothing is behind a paywall. He's talking about the Wrestling News daily free podcast, 10-minute fucking wrestling news report that the tagline of the advertising, Brian, tell me if I misquote this, is no clickbait, no paywall, just the wrestling news.
That's right, and I think it's a rather effective line, if I say so myself.
It's kind of succinct and says it. Well, Dave Scherer continues, I know you aren't, obviously, and I write each person that asks me that back and say that we love you guys and have a great relationship. Like there's this plethora of emails coming in his fucking demented mind, as we will find out here shortly.
Yeah, you can tell it's insecurity. Like, there's not a bunch of fucking emails coming in. Maybe one or two, maybe three or four. Maybe it's mostly in his mind. That's sort of the vibe I got too. Like, he just seems sort of paranoid about something that it's like, well, why are you applying that to yourself? They enjoyed sort of working with you, but you got upset that Brian didn't respond to your stock market emails, so then it turned into all this. I don't know. We're going to continue. It's a long video.
Like, I got to write back to all these kids.
I've got to write back to all these children who might be. And he goes on further. He says, to make my life easier, could you drop that line from your promos? It would be greatly appreciated. Thanks. So when this email comes in, we were recording that day. And you said, did you see this fucking email? And I said, yes, I do. I am gobsmacked that he would even think, and that obviously nobody was asking. If they were trying to stir up shit. And you ought to know that too. Well, hey, Brian, how many websites are there in the world you think has a paywall?
Oh, I mean, there's tons of websites with paywalls and endless.
What do you
plus
think?
Patreon technically is a paywall.
Yeah, so you think 20 million, 40 million, whatever the fuck. This 10-minute daily wrestling newscast is going to be confused as taking a shot at his entire goddamn site that has an elite section or whatever the fuck, and just change your advertising, Brian. Even though we don't say anything like that.
Yeah, just do me a quick favor. Yeah, you haven't heard from me since the fucking random stock thoughts. Just change everything about your business because I think you should. What? Get the fuck out of here.
So that was your reaction. And I said, look, I don't want to make Dave mad because we like Mike Johnson and he'll get caught, whatever. You know, I'll answer him, right? Because he didn't want to read the email that you were going to fucking write.
Yeah, no, if I would have answered him, he would have jumped off a fucking bridge. Trust me.
Well, but also that's when I was busy and I had shit going on.
Oh, man, that's funny.
So 2.5 days later, he writes back, did you guys get this? If you want to keep up the paywall comments, just let me know so I can answer the question once on the site and be done with it. What the fuck? If you haven't heard from us,
guys, 260 of you guys watching, run those likes up to 100. What are we doing here, B? I want to see like 150. We're at 75. Run those likes up.
Means no, we're not going to change our advertising. Or your advertising, or whoever's advertising. But why does he need to answer the question that nobody gives a shit about except him?
Well, there's the other issue. And I will say by this point in time, you know, this whole email exchange, I had heard from people the thought that seems to be a consensus amongst many that Dave Shearer, I guess he does like a column on his own website where he answers questions. The thought is he writes the questions and answers them. There's never a name attributed. There's never a hometown or a website or a screen name or nothing. It's basically Dave answering questions that are written like Dave would write them, answering questions that he wants to answer.
So you're saying he's pulling the old Mike Lano. And I think that's an apt analogy. He's answering questions that he wants to fucking answers because he has started, you don't read them, but he has started having a fucking gimmick where he says, I don't worry about these people because they don't mean anything to me. As you're going to find out, ladies and gentlemen, this motherfucker obsesses over some shit. So he wrote, did you guys get this? Blah, blah, blah. So I wrote back, hi, Dave, sorry for the late reply. And I wrote back that same day that he wrote the second one. We're both having a hectic week. I think someone is fucking with you. You guys are literally the only news site we ever quote, reference, or put over, and we do it by name constantly, telling people to trust PW Insider. So I think this may be some Cucamonga kids starting a campaign to get heat between us. Do answer the question on the site and flame the people for making up obvious horse shit where none exists, just like their journalistic hero.
Or just admit you made up the whole thing about getting tons of fucking things that you have to respond to everyone one by one and explain that, oh no, we're great friends. What?
Well, hold on. He writes me back that same day. Jim, I heard your voice in my head when I read that and I laughed out loud. You're probably right on the money there. There are so many trolls out there. Uncle Dave, man, what a fall for that guy. All good here. Hope the same for you. And then he can't fucking leave it alone. So I'm going to read one more email and then my response, and then you can tell people, Brian, what he then did.
Well, again, we thought that that diffused it. He realized he's being a fool and we'd all move on now.
We can move on. Then he writes me back 3 days later.
Swerving Hangman again. Yippee.
Hey, Jim, parenthetically, and I guess Brian, because you had not answered him yet because of aforementioned Reasons why?
Yeah, because I was going to tell him what I thought of him and his wife and everyone else around him. I was going to really fucking let him have it, but I was a nice guy, so I stayed back.
Don't say anything about his dog. I won't stand for that. Anyway, so Dave says, I got another question about it today. It specifically asked about Brian saying no paywalls and mentioned that the slogan is on his site too. Imagine that, Brian, your advertising slogan is on your website as well as in your podcast.
Shocking.
Since Brian didn't answer here, I can't really say anything publicly other than Brian didn't answer when I asked and he didn't answer me. I guess my body odor makes it all the way to wherever he...
It's just funny hearing him read what I already just read and his interpretation of it.
Lives. Seriously, I don't want to make this into something.
You're the only one making it into something.
You're the only one, you motherfucker. You fucking fat-headed piece of shit. You give me more goddamn shit to worry about when I got shit going on already. So he said, seriously, I don't want to make this into something, so I'll just respond to elite subscribers in email and ignore the free site readers that ask. There's nobody asking. It's stupid. And he finishes, whatever the case, if there is no issue, cool. If there is an issue, well, that paywall is the reason Mike and I can pay our bills. I will never apologize for making sure Mike and I get paid for our hard work. Nobody's asking you to, moron.
Yeah, dude, he just took that shit way too personally. And also, when, well, Jim's already saying it. It's, you guys know, I don't want to be like, fat-headed, dumb fuck, all this shit Jim's saying, obviously, but he's just taking it personally, and he is creating it. He's making an issue out of something that shouldn't. He's creating it all in his head, is what I'm trying to say. You know, it's just like he's getting insecure about whatever, and then he's like even being defensive about it. They didn't ask. They said it's nothing to do with you, whatever. And obviously, like Jim and Brian, I think could have like squashed this a little quicker and just been like, nah, man, it's cool. Don't worry, blah, blah, blah. However, I get where you're like, oh, this guy's kind of a weirdo. And with that stock market shit, I get why Brian would be like, well, I just don't even really want to message this guy at all about this. He's being weird again. Like, well, I don't want to deal with weird shit. I totally get that because I get lots of DMs too. And, you know, some people can be weird sometimes or you just don't gel with them. Let's put it that way. So I try to be nice here. I'm PWT, okay?
Imbecile.
So right when I unpause it, Jim's name calling imbecile, plebeian, fucktard. Oh man, it's funny. Yeah, let's just let Jim go on here.
Back to him. Hi, Dave. Brian and I were on the phone when I answered you before, so I told him I was replying to you. Nothing to do with your stunning BO. There is no issue. It's an advertising line. Send us the names of everyone who's asked this question, and we'll cuss them out in public on our...
Yeah, and Dave saying like, oh, the public people saying this, I'll ignore. But then the private people, I'll explain it to them. And it's like, what the fuck does that even mean? That's so weird, man. That's so weird.
Next show. This is ridiculous for these people to be bugging you with their bullshit. I'm still trying to, like he's a goddamn Alzheimer's patient locked up in a home, and I'm still trying to humor him that there's somebody asking this.
It's his friend George Glass.
And I thought, no.
Yeah, this guy in the chat too. Is this channel making money out of Corny and Brian work? I don't know, dude. Listen, it's called an EFAP, okay? This is in pro wrestling. It's like we're the only group of people on the internet who don't understand what the fuck this is that everyone's been doing since forever, okay? But yeah, whatever. When I dive deep on this shit, someone else said in the chat, Mrs. Cornette shouted me out personally and messaged me directly. I'm sure they're a fan of what I do. And yeah, it's called an EFAP. Go look at any other genre of anything on YouTube and people EFAP stuff. For some reason in the wrestling community, we're the only group of people who don't understand what the fuck is going on here. I don't get it, but yeah, no, don't sweat that dude, chat. And yeah, I guess maybe I am. I don't know. Who fucking knows?
Hey, wait a minute.
If they don't want me to, they can hit the thing and then it'll be demonetized, or they can share ad revenue, and I'll gladly do that with Jim Cornette. How about that? It's not about that for me. So, but yeah. Anyways, moving along now. Speaking of crazed behavior.
He actually wrote me back on this one. Trust me, the dopes out there bug me with sillier bullshit than this. There are a lot of freaks out there in the world. I don't keep a list of the losers. See, it's his gimmick. He has to fucking... But the latest good one was named Billy Walkerwitz. Feel free to bury him because given some of the other emails he has sent me, he seems like the product of a brother and sister banging in the woodshed. So that's the way he thinks about the listeners. But nevertheless, we put it to bed. We thought it was done. We thought it was over with. So he does a Q&A, and Brian, what does he say?
Apparently, because it was sent to me, because I don't pay for that fucking site. It was sent to me. He had a bunch of nasty things to say about me, about how worthless I am as a co-host, and how Cornette would do better with random people from his website that you've never heard of. And
he has never heard of, he doesn't know you. He never heard of you. You're a nobody, and anybody could do your job. Jim Cornette's great, so anybody could do your job. I've done things with other people than you. They weren't great.
No, I'm the best at this.
That's funny. That's pretty funny.
Well, but nevertheless, but instead of just, look, we're trying to tell you, motherfucker, we're not changing this goddamn advertising. Brian's not changing it. It's not even my advertising. Brian's not changing this advertising, but we're trying to be nice to you. And you keep harping on this. And now you're pissed off because people don't email you back because you wouldn't want to read the goddamn answer. We're trying to be nice. And he makes an issue where none exists and goes on his site and calls you a nobody, that anybody can do your job and blah, blah, blah. And then is wondering why you have made sideways comments on occasion about him since then.
Well, not on occasion.
Yeah, it's also personal. Here's the thing, without knowing the whole stock market aspect of it, you don't, like, just on the surface, like, because at the beginning I was like, damn, these guys are just going at it, because I just see it from the Twitter spat, right? And then, like, when we started this, I just read all the tweets first. But then when you hear the background of, like, yeah, all the stock market shit, yeah, that would have cringed me out too a bit. So I've yet to see, as Jamie Hayter makes her fucking long-awaited Dynamite debut finally, and everyone's saying Becky Lynch about her, like, fuck you, you know what I mean? No, whatever, you guys say what you want, but I'm just like, come on, man. Haters legit. But yeah, it's weird with the women in wrestling. You all have to have, like, your own hair color, or else you get compared to whoever, unless you're blonde, you know, or just brunette. Otherwise, if you have, like, orange hair, oh, that's Becky. You know, if you have, like, if you do, like, Monet's thing, it's like, oh, that's Zelina, or, like, Zelina gets compared to her. And yeah, it's I don't know, it's funny. But anyways, like, guys don't seem to have that problem in wrestling. But yeah, hopefully she'll have a solid match, man. You got to put your money behind Hayter. I'm excited for this, actually, as a mark. Phil Marks. So I'm going to be glued to the screen a bit. But here's my thoughts, though. Here's the thing. Without knowing the that stock market shit, yeah, it kind of seems like Brian was being an ass. But I have yet to hear anything other than that kind of cringy, oozy remark. But whatever. It is like, even though he didn't mean a literal oozy, right, guys? So you got to understand that too. But so far, I'm not hearing anything that makes me go like, oh, fuck, last. And somebody super chatted in and was like, I unsubscribed from all the gym stuff. Nothing's pushed me to that limit yet personally. There's still more to go, though. So we will listen here. We will move along.
Occasion on air, I've made two. One wasn't him, it was the website. Making a joke about getting stuck on his web.
No, ML, you're a dumb fuck. You don't understand shit, or people would be watching your channel, but instead they're watching this one, right? Like, you don't understand anything. You don't understand what transformative content is. You don't understand what an EFAP is. You don't understand anything. And the thing is if they have a problem, literally send this to them, and then they'll hit me up, and then it'll be fine. I promise you. And you'll just look like a fucking idiot like you already do. But, yeah, anyways, moving along. Sit and enjoy the show. Thank you for the fair warning. I appreciate you looking out. You don't got to worry about me. I know what the fuck I'm doing. That's why everyone's watching me right now. They're not watching you. Otherwise, you go do it your way over on your channel, or you can just hang out with us, be cool, enjoy the talk about the graps and the IWC sickos. Here, let's get an ooh for this sicko in the chat, and let's continue here.
Website. You see, his website is a fucking embarrassing mess, and anyone who visits it will have a really awful experience. It's almost like someone who pretends he's successful really isn't and doesn't put a dime of any alleged success into said product to fix it, make it better, make it more accessible, make more money. It's almost like he doesn't understand how to make money. We'll talk more about that in a bit. But yeah.
All right, but anyway, I'm not going to read because that was June last year as this went on.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that's what's crazy. Over a year ago, they're still pissed. And then they're talking about when they were teenagers. Fucking Harley Cameron just slipped on the top rope and then Hater saved her. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Oh.
And I didn't say a word until
we didn't say anything about it because why? Because it's stupid. But he has continued. I'm not even going to read them all, but I've gone back here to April. This is when he wrote 10 paragraphs because what I'm about to tell you. One time a couple of years ago, I had said, oh, we're going to reference this article on PW Insider. And you just tried to pop up the website and went to the free one instead of the pay one. And it froze your fucking computer because things are popping and flashing and it looks like goddamn a slot machine. And I laughed at you because you were cussing and fucking, goddamn it, and it held up our recording. So then back in April, we were talking about one of those Hindu websites that we got stuck on or you got stuck.
Fucking snowflakes. Dude, you're in here triggered over people e-fapping a video. Fucking goof. Anyways, and thank you, mods, for just whatever. Yeah, time is bitch ass out. You can come back in here when you know how to behave. All right, little babe? Kisses.
That's
on.
Right,
He couldn't get out of it.
That's right. Yeah.
And then you said it's like being on PW Insider. And
Ain't a democracy, bitch.
We went on. He wrote me a goddamn 10-paragraph email.
Oh my God.
Saying, I'll tell you who didn't pop for it. Because he wrote me first, what the fuck? And I said, it was a joke. And this is what happened before. And then he said, well, my wife didn't pop for it. She now hates Brian Last Guts now that he cares.
Well, my wife didn't like your tagline.
Because you said I was stuck on the website. Well, fuck this guy.
She's a listener. This is news to me.
She walked in the room, he said, when I played the clip.
Good timing.
And he's ranting and raving about this. And again, he's the one who fucking started it. Listen to this. I'm deeply offended and pissed off about the knife you let Last put in our backs. He's a drama fucking queen.
There's no hours.
So anyway, oh yeah, we were stabbing Mike Johnson in the back too. So anyway, then.
Well, here's the thing though. Shitting on PW Insider does reflect Mike Johnson though. So it's not stabbing him in the back, but it's like, you got to understand how that's sort of slinging mud on him too there, corny. And I'm sure he does, but yeah, it's just, they just don't like each other. God damn it. There's no two ways around this. You know, it's a deep rooted thing. We're going to keep going here. I know little triggered baby, whatever in the chat couldn't handle it. We might wrap up this segment of it soon, unless there's a lot more juice later in it. But basically, we're getting the gist of what's going on. As far as him not knowing how to invest, I don't give a shit about any of that because that was silliness. So we're going to keep going. But once fucking Brian, or unless that's a key component to all of this, and unless that's what triggered everyone. But so far, Brian didn't really piss me off yet. You know what I mean? I'm indifferent. I'm just like, okay, these guys personally, whatever, and Cher is taking shit too personally and cringed these guys out. And now I'm like, damn. I'm still going to laugh at Scherer's roasting, and I want to know why he's jealous of Meltzer. Let's continue to watch along here.
When we were talking about Uncle Dave the other day, Uncle Dave Meltzer,
Jimmy B for $2 says, Phil, did you hear about Heels going to Netflix? Yup, absolutely. And guys, watch that show. There's 2 seasons. They're brilliant. In season 1, they talk about WCW and all that. In season 2, they talk about WCW and WWF and all of that by name. CM Punk's in the show. AJ Lee's in the show. A bunch of wrestlers you recognize in the show. I think Nick Aldis was on there too. Maybe there's a bunch of people, but yeah. CM Punk's a regular, and it's a great show. Stephen Amell, he's wrestled in AEW, like with I forget who, and he wrestled in WWE with Cody Rhodes. He's buddies with Cody Rhodes. It's a great show, and it was on this thing called Stars, which was like I believe that was HBO, and they're just bumble fucking around like Warner Bros or whatever, right? HBO, did I say? I think I meant WBD or whatever. Either way, it was like a Warner thing, right? So they bumblefucked that around, put it on this Stars thing. People couldn't really watch it. The show got canceled, even though it was so good, but like no one really saw it. So then what they did was Netflix picked it up, and Netflix said that if enough people watch it, they will revive it. So please go and watch that shit, because I love that show and we need a season 3. Thank you, Jimmy B, for the super chat and for shouting out Heels. That means a lot to me personally. Okay. Is ML really sheer? I don't know. I'm not roasting sheer, but there's more juice. So let's keep diving in. We'll just do the whole thing. I don't care. Fuck ML and fuck all these people who are mad at an EFAP. And Jim, please and thank you, contact me, because I might send you some business advice and maybe we can become friends. Yeah, Brian, reach out to me. I'll email you some stock shit and we'll become best friends. Trust me, okay?
As opposed to Uncle Dave Shearer. And you let loose with that he's always been jealous of Dave Meltzer, and I could give a shit less. But you made the comment, and now not only is he fucking mad at you, but he's mad at me because I must agree with him that I've always hated him and he's always been a piece of shit. But I was just suckering him like a mark to use him for publicity. Oh, fucking hell. And he's a goddamn mental case. And he will not stop now. He is emailing back and forth and back and forth. Hold on. Let me go to the bottom of this fucking thing.
Yeah, and just for the record, I said what I said for a reason.
Start isn't WBD, it's Liongate. Okay, but then what? It was attached to a streamer. Okay, it was attached to like one of these fucking apps, Crave or something. Like I'm in Canada, so shit's different here, you know? Like there's no like Peacock and all that. So whatever it was attached to is like a Warner thing, I believe, and it was just buried on Stars. But yeah, shout out Lionsgate. They do great work.
True. I was talking about the people that, Jim and Dave knew each other and the issues they had stemmed from that, and I saw it. Dave Shearer has personal issues with Dave Meltzer because he's jealous of him. He now denies that he was friends with Meltzer. We've literally...
Okay, prove he was jealous of him, please and thank you.
Heard from people already that were like, oh yeah, I went to the ECW arena with Meltzer and he introduced me to Dave Shearer and we all sat together and had a great time.
Yeah,
it was surprising to me that he doesn't know who I am.
We're not going to mention anybody's name in public, but he would recognize, old Dave Shearer would recognize some of these names. But nevertheless, he wrote, again, as I told you before, and you vehemently denied, for some issue I don't know about, Last has a major hard-on for me. I don't even know the guy. Blah, blah, blah. So at least tell the truth. The issues are one-sided. I don't know the guy, so I don't care about him. That's his big fucking line. Apparently, he cares about a lot of fucking people.
You care a lot. I'm in your head, baby. I'm in your head, baby.
I turned the other cheek once on this, and what happened? You let your employee punch me in the face again. And then he sends me a screenshot of you guys going back and forth on Twitter and say, hey, Jim, either you lied to me or Brian lied to you. I told you all along the guy had an issue. So I wrote him back, and here's what I wrote him back, because I'm not having a goddamn good week. Dave, I was trying to stay out of this ridiculous bullshit, but I'm having a bad day. You emailed us asking Brian to change his advertising on his Wrestling News podcast because of some bullshit reason you had to have made up that people were thinking no paywall was a shot at you. I emailed you back in a friendly way to try to point out how ridiculous that was. Brian didn't email you back because it struck him wrong. and you wouldn't have wanted to read it. Even when I replied a second time that I had emailed for both of us because we were talking when we read your email, you got pissed that Brian didn't email you back, and you exhorted that you would have to address this pressing issue that no one gave two fucks about in your Q&A. Then you say in your Q&A that I'm great, but you don't know who Brian is. He's nobody, and anybody could do his job. At that point, it was game over with Brian, and I don't blame him. The whole thing came out of you sending an email asking a stupid thing, and then apparently getting pissed because Brian didn't email you back to tell you how stupid it was. Now I'm in the middle of this childish bullshit for no reason other than because I always tried to help your site, and I like you guys, but I have to go through you publicly burying my co-host because of the advertising line you don't like that had nothing.
So fucking Jim actually indulged him this much, which is crazy to me, man, that he actually like responded to all this. MJF's in the ring with a different colored scarf, and he's just like, I don't know, mad and wants his belt back or whatever. We'll see if anything interesting happens.
Nothing to do with your business. Whether you like it or not, that's Brian's issue. It started there, and apparently yours did too, and neither one of you is over it. And it's ridiculous it's gotten this far, and now you're sending me screenshots of tweets like a demented schoolgirl, and I don't give a shit. And he had called you on Twitter, pay to play Brian, like you pay me to do this show.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. After I made that brief comment at the end of the Dave Meltzer segment, he then started tweeting about me. That's when I said, oh, no.
Yeah.
Here's some batting practice with this fucking knucklehead.
Well, and that's it. I said, what is the pay to play?
Jeremy Rue, thank you for Rue. I don't know how to say it, but thank you. Jeremy Rue, thank you for becoming a member.
Acknowledge me.
And yeah, same old MJF. I don't mean to hate on him, but Plainview, Long Island, it's always about long. That's a fuck,
Hey,
man.
like he's paying me?
Same old shit. There's nothing new in AEW, nothing fresh, nothing exciting.
I will say that he is, and this is true, and I'll come out and say this.
We'll pay great attention to Ricochet's match. How about that?
You, being my partner, you have made me more money with this podcast over the last several years than I made working for Vince McMahon and Jim Crockett combined. So what? Again, I told him, I said, just leave me the fuck alone if I'm not the one yelling at you. But he can't leave anything alone because he has to say, you call me, and this is the excerpt of his next email. You call me demented? Fuck you, Jim. He's the one who says he's known me since 1995, which is utter bullshit. That is some crazy shit right there. But if he's paying you, keep on
That is some crazy shit right there.
fleecing him. What the fuck? Like we're all carnies and marks. You're not paying me. We make money with our product, unlike Dave Shearer.
Yeah, we make money, Dave. Why don't you try that sometime with your fucking bullshit website?
And also, by the way, he cut me off the Elite subscription that they had given me. They comped me a fucking $9.95 subscription for a while. He cut me off about that. And you clearly don't give a fuck about what he says about me, so I don't give a fuck about you either. We have achieved tranquility. And I wrote him back
nuts.
one more time.
Wow, he's fucking nuts.
I wrote him back one more time, and he replied to this, but Dave Shearer, again, seek some fucking help. You have successfully made a giant mountain out of...
Oh my God, that's so funny. LC Killer 17 says Super Cena is more entertaining than MJF. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. It's like the same old shit chance, you know. They think we want to get behind. They think like Garcia and MJF is gonna turn things around. This is a big hot feud for All Out. Like no one gives a shit. They sold like 1,200 tickets for this bullshit. So I don't know, man. It's cringy. It really is. Thank you, LC Killer. I appreciate you a lot. I don't know. Yeah, I'd rather watch Super Cena any day. And the feed keeps blacking out on their, like the production, or I don't know what it is, the TV station. You know what I mean? The fucking lights were going out during the one main event. But this is, I just can't get into Garcia I don't give a fuck about him, and I especially don't give a shit about him versus MJF.
Of a fucking molehill, you won't leave anything alone, and you have to have the last goddamn word. You were holding up signs with Brian in ECW 30 years ago. He doesn't claim to be your BFF or speak to you weekly, but you've been emailing him. He didn't have any fucking issue with you until the no paywall horse shit. If you're going to have the nerve and gall to ask somebody to change the advertising on their fucking unrelated project to make your life easier, quote, then natter on back and forth with me with your panties in a twist because Brian wouldn't email you back to tell you fuck you because I asked him not to. Then knock him in your column so the entire world knows that there's...
God, Garcia just like forearmed a guy, missed him, and then the guy fell forward and tripped over the other guy laying there, and I'm not kidding. I promise you someone will clip it and put it on X.
It's a fucking issue when otherwise nobody would give a shit. Expect a fucking shot every now and then, which again was much lighter than he wanted to because I asked him not to. And I said, also, you're a fucking mental case. Here's his quotes are, I was a worker duping the gullible Mark in his email because I was never his friend. I just wanted
I'm your employee.
Publicity or whatever. Keep on fleecing him. Who talks like this?
And then he also said, I'm your employee. You have to pick which way it is. Am I your employee or am I your money mark?
Yeah, or at one point, I asked you to calm your monkey down. You're my monkey.
Hey, that's not nice.
I said, Brian and I are apparently both...
He fleeced me. He's a monkey, see? Dave shares like an old 1920s mobster. I don't even know. 1950s. Oh, see? He goozled me out of some money. I'm going to have to mollywop him.
Carnies fleecing each other somehow, and you too. What the fuck is the matter with you? We're partners and do a successful show because we're the only honest people we know, and we don't obsess like a spurned twat over people that don't email us back. Check the dates of your emails and call them on Brian and any sideways remark about you or your site from us and get back to me. Wait, don't get back to me. Leave me a fucking alone. Guess what he did? He got back to me.
Oh my God.
He said, you can have the last word, and you did. I was done after I sent my last email. Nothing more to
see. That's what I mean. Like, you can have the last word, and you did, but no, because now you're putting in the last word, bro.
say from me. Okay, one last thing.
Is this real? Is this really real. What he said?
This is real. You said Brian and I are partners and do a successful show because we're the only honest people we know and don't obsess like a spurned twat over people that don't email us back. I'll say one last thing. You know Mike Johnson, and there isn't a more honest person who doesn't obsess in the whole world than Mike. No shit, Sherlock. What the fuck? He's bringing Mike into it. Now we're knocking Mike in his fucking demented, possibly drug-addled brain. Do they have drugs for dementia? Because Dave's too old to take fun drugs. But wait a minute. And his last line on the email, our paths will never cross again. Oh. I haven't seen this fucking guy in 25 years to begin with.
Oh, my God.
Like it's Gunsmoke.
And I saw that line was in the Honeymooners when they kicked Ralph Cramden out of the fucking Raccoon Lodge. Or no, wait a minute. It was fucking Laurel and Hardy when they were excommunicated from the Sons of the Desert. What the fuck? This, if you'd have just shut up when we asked you nicely to just don't worry about it. There's no problem. We're not going to change the advertising because it doesn't have anything to do with you. And then he's got to go on a fucking tirade in his column. And then he expects when he gets a few shots, he's emailed me numerous times over the fucking, I got stuck on PW Insider comment. There was a throwaway fucking joke. And he goes on and on. And finally, for Mike's sake, I didn't want to fucking make the guy mad because who knows with this level of goddamn imbalance he has, what he might do, but after a while, what the fuck? And he's yelling at me for something you said, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's all, you just don't want Jim on your ass primarily, too.
Didn't disagree with you and derail the topic because we were in another direction just to goddamn take up for him. Fuck you, Dave Shearer. Who the fuck do you think you are to be goddamn browbeating me on these emails because you had the gall and the nerve and the audacity to ask a stupid question of somebody that had nothing to do with any of your fucking business? Fuck you up the ass, you fucking prick. I'm sick and tired of hearing from a lot of fucking people, and I don't have time to get back to the people I want to get back to.
Well, that escalated quickly.
So I'll do this publicly here. Fuck you, motherfucker. Come over here to Louisville and our paths will cross, and I'll stick my foot up your ass. God damn it. I'm sorry to take your mad away, but this goddamn has lit me the fuck up.
Because you saw it. I'm like, you know how I am. My attitude is live and let live. Everyone should get along, laugh at life. But if someone comes and takes a shot at you, that can't stand. Like, that can't stand. And I let it stand for a while. And because the Meltzer thing was happening, and because people had
but nobody fucking, all they said was Shearer worked with Meltzer. So it's like, okay, why are they jealous? Why? Meltzer's wrong about everything. PW Insider's actually right about shit. Why was he jealous? No one's proved that anywhere other than it just seemed like Brian started this all by talking shit about a dude he didn't like because all this other shit from before. So, yeah.
Had sent me Dave Shearer's unhinged tweets about Meltzer. And I wanted people to know in that moment, there are people who have an agenda. There are people who make money off all this. And there are some people who literally are just jealous of Dave. Like, Dave Shearer has...
My agenda is to play flutes all around the world and make the hit the brown note and shit all over Dave Meltzer. Like Steve-O in a porta potty.
Always been. The lariat, he denies now. He lost his mind denying that Meltzer was his friend. He used to be on the phone with Meltzer every week, giving him lucha reports. He was sending Meltzer tapes. He was with Meltzer at the ECW arena when Dave came. And all of
Okay, why is he jealous, though? Reveal it now, Brian.
that didn't happen. He now denies it. Obviously, you could hear from just some of the things that Jim read.
Okay, they were friends. Why is he jealous, though? There's nothing to substantiate jealousy. That's all I need to point out about this whole thing.
This guy's fucking...
Everything else kind of makes sense now, but the jealous part is like, well, where did that happen? Like, friends fall out, dude. So, like, to just say jealous, why jealousy? Like, how do you know it's not professional or so? Like, I don't know.
Deranged. He's fucking messed up. And I think a lot of it is he truly believed he was better than Dave Meltzer, and he was never able to surpass him.
Thank you for giving me something to go on, whether that's true or not, finally. So he finally reveals he thinks he's jealous because, well, let's back it up, because that's what I was waiting for the whole goddamn time. So here we
He's fucking messed up. And I think a lot of it is he truly believed he was better than Dave Meltzer, and he was never able to surpass him. And look at him now. He's a guy that everyone jokes about. He had to shut off his comments on Twitter because he doesn't want to see some of the comments he'll be getting on Twitter.
I didn't even know you could do that. Yeah, that's right. You can only, if he mentions you or tags you or whatever, you can reply to him.
And, he keeps wanting to get the last word. He's now claiming that I'm lying, and I guess you're lying too, about him threatening to write the hit piece.
We just read it. I will have to address this in my column.
Yeah.
And no, you don't have to address anything because you were making it up. You got something stuck in your fucking craw. You decided you wanted somebody else to change their advertising. You're offended because people don't email you back because that makes you feel less important, because apparently that's a big deal.
Yeah, it all really just stems. That's what it ultimately stems from. Unfortunately, we've revealed. And again, Brian has not triggered me.
Dave. And then he's going to send me all this bullshit that I got time to read. Fuck you again, you fat fuck.
Yeah, you say Brian's trying to take money out of our mouths. I don't want to take anything out of Mike Johnson, but maybe you can go without a few meals, Dave Shearer.
I don't want to take anything out of Dave Shearer's mouth. I'd have to boil it.
And, on that topic, real quick, I've never dealt with Mike Johnson. If we interacted in the 90s.
Yo, we got Orange Cassidy and Aubrey Edwards in the same ring. This should be hilarious.
I don't remember, but I've never had a interaction with him, a bad experience. I've always thought he does a good job of reporting. He seems to be a real hustler. You admire the work that he does trying to get the truth out there. That's the only value there. as I tweeted to him when he was acting like a bitch on Twitter, you should just rebrand. Your brand is worthless. People think of poisonous ads on their computer. You should
I don't think people think of that.
rebrand as Mike Johnson Reports, while Dave Shearer tries to justify his existence. And on that topic, he accused me of being both your employee and your boss, which is a nifty trick I could do here in my time machine.
It's some kind of tax dodge, I think.
Some kind of tax. Well, no, it's not. For the record, ladies and gentlemen, there is no tax dodge.
There's no dodging of the taxes. No, we support a couple of third world countries with our taxes.
But I was stunned in this whole process to learn that Mike Johnson's not the managing partner over there, because he's the only asset PW Insider has. The name PW Insider doesn't mean shit. Mike Johnson Reports means something. What the fuck does he get out of Dave Shearer collecting the money and then distributing the money for a website that looks like shit, functions like shit, people laugh at, and no one wants to go to unless it's Mike Johnson's reporting? And most of that stuff, there's better ways to do it than that. So, that's the saddest thing, I think. Mike Johnson does a good job, and because it's not even partnered up, because he's working for...
At the mercy of...
Because he's working for a fucking sissy.
Oh, come on now. Oh, come on now, Brian. That's not very fair. Just call him a sissy like that.
Who is insecure about everything and needs to get publicly spanked because of it.
Daniel Flores says, what's going on in AEW? That's what I want to know for $2. A fucking 8-man where Roderick Strong is teaming up with the Learning Tree, even though he's in a fucking faction, I thought. And then you have Hook teaming with these three randos. Not that they're random, but they're randomly paired together. So Kyle O'Reilly, Cassidy, and fucking Briscoe, who are supposed to be a faction called the Conglomerate. And you have Aubrey Edwards there wishing she could tango during the whole thing. So I don't, I don't know. Okay. Don't ask me, ask Tony Khan. Okay. Aubrey's definitely the next Earl Hebner. Yeah. Okay. This is almost done. And then we're going to dive into more IWC sickoness.
It holds him back. And I hope at some point, I hope Mike Johnson wakes up. Someone after this started sent me a tweet that Dave Shearer had sent out. I guess it's sometime previous when people were saying, hey, what does Mike Johnson get out of this relationship? He said, one day I will in due time turn the website over to Mike Johnson. I just want to say it's valueless real estate. Mike, if you're ever going to have to do it on your own, start now. Start now. You'll be fine. You'll make more money than you're making now. And you won't have the embarrassing dead weight of this fucking mustached weirdo out in Vegas or wherever the fuck he is, pretending like he's a big success.
But now here's the thing. One of these days, my boy, all this will be yours. How much older does Mike have to fucking get?
Yeah, really. He's not a kid anymore either, now that I think about it. Yeah.
No, he's not a kid anymore. You're going to give him.
So is that it or what? Is that about it, guys? Here, we'll finish.
Something?
We're almost there. We're almost home free.
Sounds like one of these days, kid.
Sounds like you're being stringed along. Sounds like, anything you ever want to do, Mike Johnson. I'm not saying you have to come work for me. I'm saying anything you ever want to do. If you need our help, if you need my help specifically, you got it. But get rid of Dave Shearer. Dead weight, worthless website. Your reporting is the only asset. It's the lone asset of PW Insider. The brand means nothing. You can't even call it PWI. That's Pro Wrestling Illustrated. PW Insider. So I think that's part of the issue. Dave Shearer knows he has a dying website.
Look how Aubrey takes the reins of oh man.
Right. And he's not capable of keeping up with everything that's happening in this changing world of wrestling media or just media. And unfortunately, it holds Mike Johnson back. And I mean, I've never had a bad dealing with him. He may not be happy with me about all this.
I know Mike well, and he's a wonderful person and one of the most inoffensive people ever, and takes his job seriously and does work hard, as you said.
The major principal owner of that website, that's the problem. He wants everyone to take him seriously. He's a putz.
I can't believe, from these emails, I can't believe this guy is my age. How does he have this much free time? What the fuck? I'll print it as your California cousin. Find us saying something good or bad about you, for that matter. But find us saying anything bad about your website or anything else related before you decided to go on this fucking tangent about the advertising line and fuck this whole thing up. Sunshine, you fucked the whole thing up.
That's right. And one other thing, if he did this to me, and again, we read the emails, if he came out and said, you will do what I want right here, or I'm going to have to write this, who else has he done that to? You know, he rails against Tony Khan. Did Tony Khan fucking snub him? Like, seriously, if it's going to be a transactional thing, I have to write this unless you...
Yeah, see, I agree with that too. It's like, yo, change the tagline and shit. And it's like, no, like, yeah, exactly. It seems like transactional. Danny Flores for $5. I guess thank you for letting me know. Just another trash episode of AEW. Carry on with Cornette, Jim Cornette, and Brian. And Brian, yeah, don't worry, dude. It's just another 8-man. I appreciate you popping in. I have been calling things as they're happening, but nothing really of notice happened. Like, we're getting Hangman Swerve again. MJF, same old shit. Garcia runs out, so we're getting MJF Garcia. Like, now we got Jericho out here just in a 4-man and like a 4-man on each side, and then you got fucking Roderick Strong. Like, I harp on this all the time. Like, he just randomly teams with other factions, never his own. Makes no sense. And he's a part of that year-long devil shit. So it's just frustrating. Yeah, another bad episode, honestly. Like, to follow up after Wembley, this is what you do. It seems crazy. I don't know. I don't want to just bury it, but yeah, there's nothing. This has been nothing exciting below mid for me. Thank you so much. I will give you a...
Just happen to change your tagline. If it's going to be that transactional, where does that start and end? Mike Johnson has a lot of credibility. There's no credibility with those kind of practices. There's no credibility with those kind of practices. So where does that start and end? Who else is paid for positive coverage in one way or another from Dave Shearer? That's a question based on his emails I think needs to be asked right now.
Okay, but now he's just throwing out, like, who's paid him for good coverage? Oh, come on now, Brian. That's not very fair to accuse him of taking money from sponsors. That's my gimmick.
But no one's going to ask you because no one gives a fuck about him. I hope Mike Johnson gets away from Dave Shearer. Dave's a fucking loser holding you back, Mike. If you need any help, just let me know. I'm sure there's plenty of other people who would help you. In case you don't know, and I know you already do.
Oh, yeah, pal. Come right for PWT.
Most people think Dave is a c***. And yeah, we're going to have to fucking bleep that on YouTube, but it is.
Do we have to bleep that he's a see you next Tuesday on YouTube?
What's crazy is that I said a see you next Tuesday earlier in this episode, and I hope to God I can just trim that out later.
We will have to bleep that on YouTube, yes.
Well, shucks. Well, Dave, you're a vaginal orifice.
That's right. But all right, let's get a...
Okay, well, let's see what the comments had to say. That Uzi comment is the most teenage edgelord nonsense ever. This doesn't help the stereotype that wrestling fans are a bunch of weirdos. Love these guys, but sometimes Brian portrays himself like he's an internet tough as Mid-South Dr. Death Steve Williams. I think Brian needs to know his role and shut up, pun intended. This is embarrassing. Jim and Mike Johnson sound like two kids whose dads got into a fist fight at their local baseball game. Brian really is starting to think like his opinion matters just because he talks to Jim Cornette consistently. Brian, my brother in Christ, please stop. We don't care about this garbage. Just stick to reading emails to Jim and apologizing for gardeners that nobody else hears. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Round of applause for all of that. That was just tons of drama. Speaking of drama, we have like IWC people who want to like fist fight each other and shit. My closing thoughts on all of that. Yeah, Dave, you're taking stuff personally. Brian didn't trigger me that hard, but I get why it would irk some people. And Jim is, of course, just like being hilarious the whole time. And like, you know, it's just sort of the voice of reason. I can't believe he even indulged Dave Shearer with as much as he did with those back and forth emails or long email chain rather. So moving along though, we got other IWC sickos who want to like fight each other and all of this shit. So let's look into this. So this guy Corey Brennan of Fightful. Okay, now he's made the show a few times for some pretty bad takes. And then lock betting ex Billy Boy, you know, I've talked about him a bunch too. So these guys are both just like, well, let's just read this. So this Corey Brennan guy goes, hey, Lock Betting X, when you're done asking your kid about wrestlers' dick sizes. So I guess Billy was on a podcast and like, so Billy like goes to these shows with his kid, right? And like I'm not bringing like kids and shit into stuff. That's always weird to me, but he's like at the hotels and his kid asks for autographs from the wrestlers and shit, right? Naturally. Now people go, oh, Billy, you use your kid so you can get the autographs and shit. I mean, maybe, I don't know. He's a kid, right? So, I mean, is he faking the funk? I don't know. And he does podcasts with his son sometimes where they like rate wrestling. And I'm like, damn, he should lean into that. Like Rey Mysterio went on and like his kid interviewed Rey. And I'm like, this is quality content, man. Like you could really, but controversy is where these people like to dwell. And some may say the same about me, but I just observe it all and talk shit and try and be funny about it. I don't really, I don't involve myself to this depth about any of this, Michael Drouillard for $5 says they asked Aubrey what she thought about Roman Reigns. And she says, oh no, I only wear Reigns that are American made. Oh my goodness. That's such a fucking deep layered dad joke right there, guys. They asked Aubrey what she thought about Roman Reigns, and she says, oh no, I only wear American Reigns. Do you know what I'm saying? I only wear Reigns that are American. What? That's fucking funny, dude. That's a good one. Thank you for paying $5 just to get that one off, but that was gold. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Michael Drouillard for that clever. That was almost like a two-layered dad joke. I appreciate you, my good bruv. Good to see you here too. Let us know what you use that gift card on. If you use it, what as well. Let us know if you used it or what you do use it on. And yeah, shout, buddy. So, anyways, I guess Billy Body asked his son, like, who saw a wrestler in a bathroom, like, how big his dick was or something. Fucking weird. I didn't hear that episode. I must have missed that one. So, that's I don't know if he did that. Whatever. I'm not fucking getting involved in people's family lives or anything like that. But I mean, yeah, kind of weird. Maybe you can realize I told you I'd be in London and this weekend and you hid like a little bitch. So if you guys remember, Billy Body and SRS already got in each other's faces. Here's another fightful dude trying to throw down. I say, fucking do it, man. Set up a charity boxing match and let Billy fight all these guys because he goes off down here. And I don't know, these guys were chirping at each other. I'll be in Glasgow for Clash and London for All In. No need to come to Ireland. Let's see if you'll run for me like you have Cass Hole, Sean Rossap, and many more. I would. It's just like, guys, this is all over wrestling news. Actually, I don't know. I think it goes deeper. So here, this guy's DMing. That's your problem, you fat fuck. You sheep all follow each other. You believe WrestleTix, not reality. So are they fighting over WrestleTix's reporting of the 55K? Because actually, Billy did respond under one of my tweets, something that one other person had mentioned to me privately, that there was only 35 to 40K tickets sold for this event and the rest are padded numbers again. And I told y'all I don't want to get into all that, but I think that's what Billy's referring to here in this. So where was you tonight? You'd be in hospital now if you ran into me. Sorry guys, it's funny to me because even like the sheer gym stuff and like the Brian making the I'm gonna Uzi everything, it's just funny. Like we're all fighting over wrestling news, bro. It's the funniest shit, man. That's why you come to PWT. We're just gonna laugh at all this shit. So you see no other media outlets in the entire world acting like this. Corey responds, so we should just let Billy say horrendous things about us, make up lies about us, and present himself as a tough guy while he runs like a bitch. Yeah, I mean, they've just been beefing. Account suspended. So there you go. Billy's probably suspended again. Dude gets suspended all the time. And yeah, I think it's well, okay, that's the end of it because they must have deleted it all. Yeah, they did. So there was a myriad of responses of back and forths of like, I'll knock you out and all this shit, like back and forth. But dude got his whole account suspended, and that is unfortunate. to get your whole account. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. To get your whole account suspended for, but who knows, maybe making threats. Billy's not afraid to say some pretty wild shit, online. So who knows if it was because making physical threats back and forth, but this guy's doing the same thing. Corey Brennan as well. Like, not to, if I'm going to be the old fence sitter Phil here, I got to call it like I see it. Like, they're both saying they're going to fight and shit. So I don't know to the extent it went to, but there was like a million back and forths. They're all seemingly gone. So I guess, and maybe that's also the account that's suspended. That's probably down here with this Phil Mark bookmark was here from that suspended Billy Boy situation. So yeah, guys, that's the IWC sicko segment for the evening. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Very long and lots of people fighting, and it's pretty funny. It's still real to me, damn it. Billy is a nut. Yeah, he's nutty. He is right about wrestling. Like, he'll break stories, like, and then other people catch him later. And I don't know how much of that he's doing anymore. He's like, speaking of being hidden with a paywall, I believe his whole podcast is. I've invited him on this show. I'll invite anyone on this show, guys. I'm not afraid. Like, even the canceled people or whatever. Like, I know he goes off about like the SJ dubs and all that type of shit. And it's like, I'll have anybody like that on, as long as, like, it's not like I'm fucking got to agree. You guys hear me yell at Chris Connors all the time. Duke's coming on. Duke Loves Wrestling. And we have a huge disagreement about CM Punk. And we're going to fucking get into it about it. Trust me. Like, and it's going to be a solid, a great, awesome debate back and forth about, he believes Punk was a bully and was strong-arming people. And I just believe, like, well, you guys know what I believe because you listen to the show, and we're going to debate that because it is like the year anniversary of the whole brawl in, brawl out, all of those situations. So, turning the frogs gay. So there's like, yeah, just a brawl. Like, the Kingdom came out, everyone's brawling. It's just meaningless. Taven and Bennett were in the tag match, but they're there to hold up Roderick Strong. So it's Hook versus Roderick Strong next, I guess. Like, I don't know. Just messy AEW, man. That's all I can say. Let's take a gander into. I did all of my Dave Meltzers with Marie Shadows today, and we will be tomorrow, Time Cop in the morning. You guys will hear that podcast, so tune into that. You'll hear the Dave Meltzer moment of the week. Let's watch this Mercedes Moné. She just opened the segment like, hello, wrestling. And Camille's looking fine like wine, and they're having private parties here with them, and they're in some sort of backstage party. Okay. They're plugging, like, in center focus is a New Japan belt, and they're talking about capital punishment or whatever, the New Japan show. I don't get why. So Isaiah Cassidy's picking up on Monet. And then Camille's pushing him back. Okay, now Okada's getting involved. Okada versus Private Party? Is that what's... Yeah. Conan buries him. So Billy used to work there for Keeping It 100. That's how I discovered that dude. And he literally, like 2 WrestleManias ago, he predicted the whole thing, like a month before it happened. Literally knew Vince was coming back and everything. So that's where I just started paying attention to his hot news. But I'm not... that was such a cringe fucking segment from Monet. Sorry, guys. I had to watch that. Okada, she's just marking out because she loves Okada. He stood up for her. She's probably dating Okada now. But yeah, dude, New Japan, I love them, and I'm not going to shit on them for having low tickets, but that's what happened when they started working with AEW, literally. Yeah, Okada. People used to go, but Jonah, but Bronson Reed, he beat Okada. Look at Okada right now and look at Reed right now.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
Okay, so I have two miscellaneous here. This is from like about a week back. Rich Swann is entering rehab after second disorderly intoxication arrest since 2022. If you guys remember, he was released from WWE, went to TNA's doing his thing. Rich Homie Swann teamed with AJ Francis, and Swann is entering a substance abuse rehab program. TNA has told Post Wrestling, and I just pray and hope he gets better. Publicly intoxicated. Who knows? I don't need to know what he was doing. Hopefully it was nothing horrendous. Obviously not. And he's taking the appropriate steps seemingly. So wish him a speedy recovery and all that. And hopefully he just gets better. I like Rich Homie Swann. Here's Ronda Rousey though. Here's her apology for it. Now this is touchy for YouTube and maybe people sensitive in the chat. I don't know. I know that one asshole was calling us all snowflakes earlier. Meanwhile, this is the only fucking channel where you get a guy who does a 10-minute Trump bit just to have Jericho sing at the end of it, okay? This is the only channel that does not shy away anything wrestling related, okay? We dive face first and balls deep into everything. You ain't hype for $2 says, has anyone noticed AEW doing fast camera cuts? Yes.
That's great.
They're regressing. We called it out. Zoom ins, fast cuts. It's like Kevin Dunn, man. They're behind the times. Like they're always playing catch up, and they just do what they saw WWE do. And they think doing differently than WWE right now is like, oh, they do long cuts, we need to do quick cuts or whatever. But really they just need to run smaller buildings and film everything like they film those Cardiff shows. That's really the answer to all of that. Thank you so much for the super chat. And so Ronda Rousey, and no one dip out here, this will be quick, but she apologized she did an AMA in an MMA subreddit, or no, I think it was the Squared Circle subreddit, pardon me, and they just completely obliterated her. It was the worst idea ever. She gave up like an hour in, and people went super harsh on her. I'm not going to read all the questions from that, but basically she was asked about Sandy Hook. I guess I'll say that. The Sandy School conspiracy will say that because I don't know what the fuck YouTube likes these days. But so here, she's going to just apologize for that. We're going to read it. I can't say how many times I've redrafted this apology over the last 11 years, how many times I've convinced myself it wasn't the right time or that I'd be causing even more damage by giving it. But 11 years ago, I made the single most regrettable decision of my life. I watched a Sandy Hook conspiracy video and reposted it on Twitter. I didn't even believe it, but was so horrified at the truth that I was grasping for an alternative fiction to cling to instead. I quickly realized my mistake and took it down, but the damage was done. By some miracle, it seemingly slipped under the media's radar. I was never asked about it, so I never spoke of it again, afraid that calling attention to it would have the opposite of the intended effect. It could increase the views of those conspiracy videos and selfishly inform even more people. I was ignorant, self-absorbed, and tone-deaf enough to share one in the first place. I drafted a 1,000th apology to include in my last memoir, but my publisher begged me to take it out, saying it would overshadow everything else and do more harm than good. So I convinced myself that apologizing would just reopen the wound for no other reason than me selfishly trying to make myself feel better, and that I would hurt those suffering even more and possibly lead more people down the black hole. Very vulnerable here, Rhonda. I appreciate this, of conspiracy bullshit by it being brought up again, so I could try to shake the table of being a Sandy Hook truther, but honestly, the label, pardon me, dyslexic, but honestly, I deserve to be hated, labeled, detested, resented, and worse for it. I deserve to lose out on every opportunity. I should have been canceled. I would have deserved it. I still do. I apologize. This came 11 years too late, but that to those affected by the massacre from the bottom of my heart and depth of my soul, I am so sorry for the hurt I caused. I can't even begin to imagine the pain you've endured, and words cannot describe how thoroughly remorseful and ashamed I am of myself for contributing to it. I've regretted it, etc., etc. You guys get the idea, okay? They will only make you feel powerless, afraid, etc., etc. So kudos to her for apologizing, I guess, if that helps people. If that helps people cope or whatever. I don't know. If it helps her feel better, that's awesome. I don't know. But at the end of the day, like, this is what Chelsea Green, and I got into this debate with Chris Connors. I was on Last Call podcast again today, and he was, and of course we were debating, and he was talking about Tessa Blanchard coming back to TNA, and Chelsea Green basically responded to Tessa Blanchard claiming that she had like self-deletion thoughts after she was sort of canceled from wrestling. You know, Chelsea Green was like, look, all we want is an apology. We just want you to like own up to what you did. That's the one thing you haven't done, you know? And yeah, I just think like it's good to at least just like apologize for whatever. Now Ronda Rousey is doing like a GoFundMe. She needs like 20 grand to do like a graphic novel, and there's all these other conspiracies that she's like her book didn't do that good, and it didn't perform that well, and that she might be hurting for money and all that. I don't know how that could be true. She's made so much of it in her career, both careers, that I don't know if that would be true, but she is doing a GoFundMe to try and get like a graphic novel off the ground. So I don't know. Shout her out. Mariah May. Yeah. Good thing they slapped the title on her. Hey folks. Yeah. So let's dive into some WWE news now as we watch Dynamite, which is a little sort of silly, I guess. Not really silly, but this goes way back. This goes back like almost 2 weeks ago, guys. So I hope you're ready for this. Let's see what's up next. Ricochet, we're going to really watch his match, folks. We're going to really watch it attentively. Here's the grizzled young vets. They're just going to talk some shit. So former WWE host Matt Camp got heated on his show about working with Megan Morant. Now this fucking Matt Camp guy's a geek. 100%, dude. And if you hear this, let's talk this out. No, just kidding. He's speaking like firsthand what he experienced, but this dude has just been boo-boo since he got released. He didn't make the most. He'll forever be known as like the shitting on WWE guy. He could have probably went and parlayed his time at WWE into a job like anywhere else. Could have worked Tony Khan for some money. And instead, the motherfucker just makes it be known that he's a guy who just wants to trash his former employer and all this shit. It's just so like, he's just sad that he got let go for this podcast. No one was fucking really watching. And he's just sad he got passed up. You know, that's how I feel with this Matt Camp guy, but whatever. We'll read. He buries this girl, I believe. Okay, so sorry, I had to hydrate soda water. So Matt Camp says, I tried to help her. She didn't want the help. Shit, I'll go further. Michael Cole was checking in with me on how she was doing, and I would have to tell him, she doesn't really want the help. Now I'm not there anymore, and she is. So call that what you will. Exactly, you fucking guy. You're sour grapes. And this Megan Morant, buried her on this show a few times because she's not that good, but it's just it's just funny. He's like, now she's still there and I'm not. So, you know, you just sound sour grapes, dude. Initially she wanted to get better. Hey, you're going to be in town for this community event. Why don't you come and sit backstage and watch Raw Talk? We'll show you everything we do. Hey, you're still here. Why don't you come stay around for the bump this week? Hey, that'd be cool if we put you on the show and you can do this, and those things happen. And I talked to Cole and I said, hey, if she wants to keep coming around, I'd be happy to have her around. She could shadow, she could learn from the best and Jackie Redmond. We can show her the ropes. It's good to be around these things. And she was into it. And that continued. And then they made the call. Megan's the number 2 to Kayla on SmackDown. Jackie's moving. We're going to take Megan off the road. She'll be a Stamford person with me and Ryan, and now she'll be with you on those shows. She's going to be with you on those 3 shows. Okay, I wasn't thrilled because I was losing Kayla, but I got it. We're going to make this work. Let's try hard, and it didn't. It didn't work, and they tried, and the trying stopped, and the conversations I tried to have to improve things. You're just mad that this guy is just fucking mad, dude, that they move shit around. Ooh, I'm a baby. Not everything worked my way. I'm a baby. So no, we had no chemistry, and that's what happened. Yeah, that's fine. And then you got fired. So obviously she's got chemistry with other people. You don't always get what you want. You try to make the best of the situation, but I can only help so much. Let me add one more thing because it needs to be said. I talked to you about the people that reached out to me when I got let go, people that I didn't talk to on a regular basis. Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, Byron Saxton called me. I don't need to say everybody, but the people I worked with closely who didn't know it was happening or did know or whatever reached out. People I didn't even like reached out. Yeah, it's called being professional, bro. They all loved me and wanted me there. No, dude. Jeepers, man. This guy's got some fucking big time
emotional damage.
You know who never said a word to me? This needs to be said because I'm kind of tired of this shit. Megan. She never said a word to me. Yeah, dude, she didn't like you. You were rubbing people the wrong way. I got let go. The show went off the air Wednesday, not a fucking text. Nothing, nada. So remember that when you help people out. Remember that. Dude, she probably thought you were a prick and a weirdo from day one. Jeepers, I'm not reading all that. Cool story, bro. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ, man. And then Wrestle Talk every single word to try and bury WWE. But when Meltzer's being a fucking idiot, it's like one sentence. Here's Cody Rhodes being told that he's the biggest fucking draw in the world right now, pretty much. Not literally, but this is the guy who runs Fanatics. He deals with all the celebrities and athletes who, you know, set up booths and all that shit.
So you know what I've just been told?
Thank you again.
I owe you a giant thank you. Because you are, without question, the number one person driving WWE's business. So pretty amazing with you being the number one person driving WWE's business. But I got to give some other people a hard time. I got to give Brock a hard time, Logan a hard time. Oh, no. Like, but my new guy, number one. Wow. Make it happen. It's actually official. I got to be honest with you. Somebody just brought this to me yesterday. I had a quote. It said number 2 and number 3 suck. It's only got number 1.
Oh, God, I don't know.
No, I had a quote. They said, will you write this on my jersey? And I was actually trying.
So, yeah, that dude's like, you're the top draw. I got to get on Logan's ass. I got to get on The Rock's ass. You're making us the most money. So there you go. Cody Rhodes a fucking draw. All these babies who say he isn't, they can eat it. LC Killer 17 for $2 says, F that guy. I never liked him in WWE. And now, yeah, he'll be fucking calling for a job right away. Just kidding. But no, that guy's he's just sour grapes, man. I hear that guy talk and I'm just,
shut up, bitch.
Just crying. They announced a 4-way match for Rampage. Mortis, Commander, Lio Rush, and Takeshita. Great. Thank you so much for the super chat, my guy. So, this is a while back too. This is Jonathan Coachman said Big E will never return to the WWE ring. Big E is never wrestling again. He's never wrestling again. I know he wants to. I would never allow him to because he would take one bad, just a simple choke slam or a body slam for him to be paralyzed forever. So yeah, guys, Big E may never come back, but he may come back if his stem cells and shit work. But he's been honest, like they're not really working, and I think that's why they're pulling the trigger on breaking up the New Day too. So yeah, hopefully Big E, you know, just recovers, but like whatever. He's always got a job at the desk. He'll be a commentator one day, all of that stuff. But it's just unfortunate, man, that they had to go out that way. And hopefully we get some sort of New Day reunion. But yeah. Moving along, we have Ricochet's match. So Brandy Rhodes on the Cody Rhodes video. Dirt sheets right now. Can't do the math. They all want to shit on Cody. Here's a video of Rhea Ripley stopping for a young fan right here. Go out of her way.
Hey, hold on. Thank you. She's with you? Yes. But she's letting it happen.
Yeah, she loves her little kid fans. Like you see videos of her.
Thank you.
Or you see her at the airport and all the fat neckbeards trying to get autographs, and she'll go to the kids like, and she'll just fucking mean mug. You know, the autograph guys. So, okay. Here's Here's the last tribal chief. Someone breaks it down. The last tribal chief before Roman Reigns was Umaga. He always used that Ula Fala. Years later, Roman brought back the storyline and made it the most important title in WWE. Long-term storyline. Then this guy goes, Umaga tried to SA. You guys know what that means, right? Shelly Martinez on European tour. Fuck him. And then you read this, and I don't want to get into all this because it's weird. But basically, like, she never says that at all. But this fucking Ian Dice Clay or whatever, which, like, how are you Ian Drew Dice Clay? But I don't fucking know, man. He's not Dice is a very dirty comedian who makes some crazy ass jokes. So it's weird that you would be like, fuck him, and like misinterpret the story. But basically, like, they were all drinking and Umaga tried hooking up with her and she was like, no. And then she admits it here that he left the fucking room and didn't do shit. And then she's like, but other people did do stuff to me. And then this guy's just like, Umaga tried to do bad shit to Shelly Martinez. Fucking, I don't know. You guys look into it. Maybe this should have been in the sicko segment, not the WWE news. So pardon my bookmarking, but yeah, I don't know. I read the whole fucking thing, and I'm telling you guys, like, she literally says in there that, like, well, Umaga, the only person she's willing to name is Umaga, and she also says that they didn't do shit. He left the room when she said no, and then this person's just like, fuck him and shit, and like he's passed away, and like this is I don't know. Craziness. I don't know. Whatever. Look into that yourselves. Jose, the assistant, was seen arriving to SmackDown in Orlando with Andrade last week. Damn, dude. Maybe he'll just start managing some luchador action. Yeah, Ricochet and fucking Fletcher's beating the shit out of Ricochet. It's just, dude, he was in such a cool like story with Braun Breaker and shit. Now he's getting big booted into the crowd. Vince McMahon's attorney says there's no truth to the claim that Vince's health is declining. So people tried to say Vince is like dying and all of that. Regarding the Ricky Starks rumors circulating on social media, NXT sources say that there is a significant interest in bringing Starks into the brand once he is available. So that's even Fightful saying it. Ricochet just did like 10 suckets to the camera. So, a bunch of people are going to take that as a shot at Triple H. And people on X are going to be like, oh, were you mocking Triple H? So, yeah, Meltzer. Here, we're going to skip. This is like a Dave Meltzer thing. He just basically says what everybody knows. There's strong rumors that Ricky Starks' contract with AEW expired in July. That's not true. Big E provided an update. So here's what Big E said. We were talking about his neck. Right now, my neck is just not ossifying. It's not turning into new bone quite yet. It is kind of healing fibrously. So it's all connected, and it's no fear that if I were pushed too hard or if I were bumped, anything would happen. I'm not really in the position right now to be cleared medically because of the nature of what we do is very physical and taking bumps, etc. We understand. Just praying for Big E, man. Hopefully he can come back. Here's John Cena on Club Shay Shay saying who the greatest of all time is. And here's who he named. Shout out Club Shay Shay. Oh, am I stealing from Club Shay Shay? Snowflakes. Ooh.
And it's amazing that I'm saying a still active talent with years in front of him is the greatest of all time. Wow. But he's been in it since 2012. I had to work my way up. I started on the bench and then got onto the Saturday program and then just lost every match. He came in with the Shield in a really high level spot and never wavered. Even when the fans didn't like him, he was still in a main event spot. He's been in a main event lens for over a decade now, and he's brought through his clock, and you could say whatever force has helped it. But in 2012, the stock was trading at $11. WWE or TKO stock's now at 117. Wow. That's on his shoulders. There isn't a better indication of, and I know it's a team effort. Nobody does it alone. But like you say,
in AR Gold, that's just John Cena's opinion. That's just his opinion. Why would the numbers matter if he's good? Because the whole point of wrestling is to entertain people, and the more people who are entertained by your shit means it's the best shit. Stupid dumb fuck.
Hey, that to me is like, that's some serious shit.
Yeah,
and for me, I got to give her respect where respect is due. And Joe's smart, passionate about the business, multi-generational athlete, has respect for his family, has respect for the locker room, has respect for the business. He's a very, very smart performer and somebody I respect. He would be my greatest of all.
Damn, that's amazing. John Cena fucking John Cena. Absolutely.
Acknowledge me.
He's got his ones up. What is TNA getting out of this relationship? TNA's pay-per-view buys in 2024 are up 114% from Rebellion. 114%.
You what?
Fuck around, dude. And Nemeth revealed he originally only signed on for 10 dates. And then they keep extending it, and because he's having such a good time there, and it's so good. Like, it's very telling of their business. So Emergence Friday, I'll be going live for that. CM Punk responds to the idea that there would be similar incidents involving him in WWE that happened in AEW. That's all bullshit. None of that stuff is reality. He's a cancer, and listen, not everybody gets nice me, but I treat you accordingly. If you're a piece of shit and you act that way to me, I will treat you that way. If you're nice, you're smiling, you want to have a good time, let's have a good time. I'm all hugs. And it's not like I'm two different people. There's just certain people, the ones that spread those lies, the ones that say those things about me. It's because they can't control me. They can't control the things I do and I say, and they absolutely hate that. So they try to control the way other people feel or see me, and it's bullshit. You're going to have to make your own judgment. You're going to have to draw your own conclusions. Hell yeah, dude. That's why Punk's the fucking man, dude. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Yeah, I feel what Punk's saying there. Netflix announced today that they have seen 150% increase in ad sales thanks to shows like WWE Raw, Christmas Day NFL games, Squid Games, Wednesday, Outer Banks, Love is Blind. Netflix's global viewership for their ad tier rose from 23 million in January to 40 fucking million. And these people are trying to tell you that the Netflix thing isn't a good thing, man. Look how much they almost doubled their fucking viewership when their ad tier rose. Their ad tier rose and they doubled up. And that's because, as I've said on this show, they did the market research, and most people who watch WWE also got fucking Netflix. I'm telling you that. Okay? I don't like Ricochet's new gear in AEW, man. I do not like it whatsoever. Julian Weeks. Fox News is reporting out of all the stars and athletes at the Fanatics event, the only group that sold out photo ops and autograph sessions was the WWE stars. The only people who were sold out above Barry Sanders, Cal Ripken Jr., Adrian Peterson, Jerry Rice were fucking Triple H people, dude. Triple H's people, WWE people. And yeah, on that pop-up ramp. So there you go. Triple H's era, dude. That's what that is right there. Logan Paul's response to the viral video. So, okay, there's a video here. I'll play Logan's response. So I thought this was fucked up, but it turns out people broke it down and no, like he didn't push this dog. I kick your dog. You kick my dog. But yeah, this is, I don't know. Let's just play Logan's response to him. Everybody said he pushed a dog into the ocean or the river or the lake or whatever. Let's see. I don't believe I believe after you watch it in slow-mo, like you're actually like, oh yeah. Like if you just watch the video, it looks like someone pushed the dog, but he is absolutely right. He breaks it down like scientifically here. You know, they were trying to like save the dog, I guess, but here's his response.
In today's episode of What Can We Make Up About Logan Paul to Get Him Canceled? A video from 4 years ago circulating where my dog Broly jumped off a boat. They're trying to say that I pushed my dog off the boat for content, which look, I know I've done some crazy stuff for content, but this accusation is on some serial killer shit. So the first thing I did was immediately revisit the original video. And even back then, 4 years ago, I clarified in the comment section, pinned comment that he was not pushed. Also, if you know anything about dogs, watch his body language. His head is straight. His eyes are locked onto something. Broly is the one who initiated the jump from a pound bouncing position, and his tail as well remains curled throughout the jump. If he were pushed, like forced to get off the boat against his will, he would have been scared and his tail would have been tucked between his legs. But since it was curled, it shows that he was comfortable and shows that it was a self-induced jump. Now for the hands, there are 2 hands, one on the top of his back, one on his tail to try to prevent him from jumping in, but he obviously escaped our grasp and jumped in anyways. And you can see the one on the top, which I believe was my hand, kind of like follow him in just because I was trying to keep him from going, and he went in the water, and so then I had to go in after. Now 2 of the original tweets saying that I pushed my dog in the water were deleted after I responded with the original video in slow motion and HD and said 4 years later.
Yeah, I don't know. He didn't try to kill the dog, guys. I don't know. We're trying to cancel Logan Paul again. I don't know. He didn't do it. He's innocent. God damn it. E-fapping with Logan. Yeah, exactly. I'm more interested. Like, what about those NFT shits he was pulling, bro? What's going on with all that? So WWE security. So this is fucked up. WWE security has been confiscating Roman Reigns signs from fans. Apparently, they're letting Cody Rhodes signs in. Why are they trying to suppress Roman fans from bringing signs in? What the hell is going on? So here's you can't convince me that's not a fucking slight. Take away Roman and Jay signs, yet let in Cody signs. WWE is so gross, and this is just one of many to prove it. So why? What was WWE doing here? Look at this. From what I've seen so far, these pictures are floating around. Can clearly see we want Roman. It's our first SmackDown, yet it's confiscated. Yet the tweet it's replying to shows plenty of other signs getting in. Why were so many signs taken from us in Orlando, Florida on August 16th? Had no offensive or non-WWE, mostly Roman Reigns left a bad taste in our mouth, especially when you see the other city next week full of signs, Triple H. So, like, what was going on here, folks? There's a conspiracy afoot. WWE. What are you guys doing? What is WWE doing? Why are they doing this? That's what I want to know. Are they really trying to suppress it? Like, you can't suppress it. He's the biggest dude ever, but maybe they want, I don't know. Who knows? Who fucking knows? Who knows? I can't really even think about, I don't know why they do that at all. Seems so weird to me, man. There's an answer there. We'll find out. I'll update you as we go. But yeah, so I talked about this earlier. Like, Tessa Blanchard opens up about experiencing suicidal thoughts and anxiety due to the lows of her wrestling career, I guess is the word I'll use. And then Chelsea Green just said, I don't wish self-harm or thoughts of deletion on anyone and hope she has found peace. However, I am sorry goes a long way. Or a simple I am sorry goes a long way. We haven't heard that yet. Accountability matters, and a redemption tour of interviews won't erase the actions of an egotistical bully. See, so that's where, like, just apologize, Tessa, and it'll work. Rhonda did it. That's all I'm saying. WrestleVotes. According to source, there's an all-employee meeting today at WWE HQ in Stamford, hosted by Mark Shapiro. I'm told the biggest news to come out of the meeting is that the WWE Performance Center will be moving to Las Vegas in the near future. Now, that was fucking refuted. WWE says they're not moving the Performance Center. Fightful Select. Now, when he reported this, WrestleVotes reported this and said that's what their source said. I instantly quote tweeted it and said, this is not true. If anything, they are building a residency and starting a residency there as Bruv comes out to confront Ricochet. Predictable. We all knew. But anyways, so I quote tweeted and said, no, dude, if anything, they're just going to build another performance center in Vegas, like in a hotel and like that sort of residency, so that when people who are doing residencies there can pack just poison Rana Bruv on the fucking ramp. But yeah, so when people do residencies there, like when they rotate in and out, when the superstars who are doing NXT, WWE shows or whatever in Las Vegas, they'll stay in the hotels there. Like UFC already did all this. They put a PI there, they have their Apex Center, and they have a hotel. Like literally the fucking fighters can stay there and just walk over the building next to them, and and that they're going to set the same thing up just over like West Coast, and have like a West Coast base. They're not going to close everything Orlando. And then, yeah, Fightful sort of backed me up on there. There you go. Why can't we be friends? No, but they go, yeah, they're not moving the Performance Center. And then WrestleVotes was squirming, and he was like, not squirming. I don't want to shit on him, but it was just a bad take. Like they told him some fake shit. But yeah, I didn't bookmark anymore. But he was like, well, listen, they said it's a long-term plan for like in the long term. And it's like, dude, your source misheard what the fuck he heard. You know what I mean? Like whatever he heard, they're just gonna build another PC there. They're not just getting rid of the PC in Florida. That makes absolutely no sense to do whatsoever. So yeah, Moxley's back here. He's just gonna beat up random guys. Watch. So this is an overrun with Moxley. And is this Marina Shafir? No. So is Marina Shafir in the Blackpool Combat Club? Is that what this is? Jesus Christ. I think Danielson retires to Mox. I think Mox, like they do a Blackpool, whatever. Marina Shafir's in the Blackpool Club or what the fuck? I don't know. That was okay. I guess. I mean, I don't know. So we're going to hear from Danielson during the overrun. Tony is giving Danielson the overrun that no one watches to announce his retirement.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
I don't know if you guys can hear it. I can't hear the fucking dun 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 dun.
This is great.
So here, let's see if Danielson retires. You know, you don't know me. Yeah, I think Mox will be done with the club, which will be cool. And that's why I think Moxley like jumps Danielson, and we get like Mox Danielson is the big whatever. Or maybe he'll be about to retire, and then Mox will come out and beat his ass or something. And then maybe they bring in Maria Shafir because Brie Bella and him will have a tag match or some shit. Who fucking knows, man? It's Tony Khan. It could totally happen, you know? But I always predicted Danielson's going to actually have a run with the belts before he hangs it all up, you know? Like it's all a swerve, and he's actually going to defend it a few times until the new year or whatever. So we're going to hang out here and make money off of AEW and EFAP his promo. It's shitty he's going to retire in front of like 1,500 people, but it is what it is. So, and then I got a couple more WWE news for you guys. So they're chanting, "You deserve it. You deserve it," but they're not in unison, and there's only 1,000 of them. So, but yeah, the whole performance center thing, though.
After trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing and trying and failing.
Okay, Danielson's cutting his promo. We're listening.
Brian Danielson, the American Dragon,
You ain't hype for $5 says, I think Daniel last match will be against Darby or Swerve at Wrestle Dream in Washington.
You fucking
No, I'm just kidding. No, that could be a good one. But do you really think that fucking one of those guys retire him, though? You're probably right. They're all from that area, so it's probably a good one.
who got to sit front row. And when I got to the back,
Or he retires here and Tony Khan announces a fucking tournament.
You what?
the best day of my life.
Thank you for the $5 super chat. You ain't hype.
Earlier in the day, she went on a Peppa Pig double-decker tour bus, so that made it play a big role.
It's talking about Peppa Pig. Okay, guys.
I knew it even before she said that. I knew it when I got to the back and I saw my peers congratulating me. That's the
That's his favorite moment of his whole career. He said that in Shoot. He's saying it in kayfabe. I believe him though too, because that's like a father thing. Like, you know, that's like his kids got to experience something special there, which like I'm sure is just means more to him than anything, than any personal selfish accomplishment, you know, that he, you know. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, so what did you say Wrestle Dream is in Washington? That'll probably be it. Yeah. That makes the most sense. That's a really great call.
Then when I got to the press conference at the end of the show, they asked me the question, what's next?
What's next? They asked him what's next.
And, my contract with AEW expired on August 1st.
He's working with no contract, a handshake.
I'm going to be needing neck surgery sooner rather than
How could he let Tony Khan,
my family's ready for me to come.
or like how could Tony Khan let another champion go with a handshake deal with his world title? Danielson's gonna retire. It's shitty. It's only in front of this low amount of people because but he had his moment, you know. Like I'm sure he doesn't care where it is.
When I first got to AEW, one of the first things I said was thank you to the people who started this place. Because if you're here in the building tonight, you probably agree with me. AEW is awesome.
Yeah, AEW's dope, man. He just said AEW's awesome.
Professional wrestling my entire life, and the fact that AEW even exists makes pro wrestling better, and it's made my life better.
He said the fact that AEW even exists makes pro wrestling better and made his life better. For sure. No, I have never argued against that for 1 second. That's just, it is true. Boys got more money. There's more place to work. I know it's like, damn, what, but like an Edge, I've said it a billion times. I'll never be mad at him for going and letting someone give him millions. He gave his fucking neck for my entertainment. Same with Danielson. I don't get mad at these people. It's like getting mad that Robert Downey's like, no, I want to be Dr. Doom for $95 million. He's not retiring, guys. Here we go. I knew it. I knew it. You have to have him have a run. The fact it hasn't happened yet is crazy. Fuck yeah.
Don't get this twisted. As soon as I lose this, my full-time career is over.
Damn. So as soon as he loses it, he's retired.
So in 2 weeks, all out, Chicago.
This should have happened so long ago with Danielson being the champ.
Young, hungry locker room back there. I've got an AEW World Championship. So anybody who wants a shot, come get it. First come, first serve.
Okay, just open challenge.
To be the best AEW World Champion of all time.
Here we go. Who's on the screen? So Christian, pardon me. No, Jack Perry.
Let me connect the dots. Nobody wanted me back.
So Jack Perry's going to be his first opponent. That's complete ass. That's complete ass.
The future that I knew I could have since the very beginning. I started to think I got back.
Why Jack Perry? Don't. Just start doing the stars, man. Just fucking give him Omega, Okada, fucking Moxley, everybody. Just line them up and have a bunch of matches and just do a farewell tour of Danielson. Fucking Jack Perry. Come on. Where's Samoa Joe exactly? Hey, chat, where the fuck is Samoa Joe? Your future's behind you. Boom. Oh, it's a pre-tape, and Jack Perry comes in the ring. Jesus. Yeah, I guess people do hate Perry, but it's like a turnoff. Like, people are not going to want to watch. Just people aren't going to want to fucking. I don't know. People aren't going to want to watch Danielson fight Perry. That's all I'm telling you, you know? Yeah, right. And with the world title, we're entering that phase, folks. We're going to see Cassidy and Perry and Darby Allin and these guys get in the line and win these fucking belts. One of these goofs are going to become the AEW world champion, dude. If Darby beats Danielson for the world title, so many people will never watch this shit again that already stopped watching this shit. But yeah, I guess it'll be like Perry versus Danielson at All Out, or what? When is All Out? I don't even know. That's the problem. Is it on the same day as that NXT show, or what? You guys need to tell me. Chat, when is All Out? Anyways, though, that was Dynamite, I guess. That's nobody watched that overrun either. But yeah, so with the Performance Center thing, basically it's not going anywhere. WrestleVote's botched. We're done that. So shorter WWE PLE cards are expected to continue, and WWE are happy with how they turn out. So 5-6 matches, 7 if they want to get spicy. I agree. That's the right length. We've talked about it on the show. But it allows them to stack Raw and SmackDown. And exactly. What have I been telling y'all, man? You just give us a big fight feel for the go-home shows, and you're able to do that. Like, I know I argue with Chris Connors, like, what are we going to do with everybody? And it's like, don't worry, man. We will, it'll be fine, There's going to be room for everybody for matches. LC Killer 17 for $2 says, thank you, AEW. You guys saved me $50.
This is great. The best guy is Tony Khan.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. All Out, we'll have to see about that. I don't know when it is. Chat will let me know, but it's just like, what's the interest in it? And is it this weekend? So save your $50. I don't know, September 7th, next weekend. Okay. So they don't want to compete. So, all right, that weekend, then we're going to do an all-in, all-out watch-along, pardon me, and hopefully nobody gets brawled out or slapped around, or maybe hopefully they do. Maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I'll argue with Duke about it. But anyways, SmackDown runs in the same city as a PLE. Yeah, so you guys know what's up. Shorter cards for the pay-per-views, and then just having bigger, high-profile matches and stack up the go-home shows. So WWE is once again shaking up its announced teams for Raw and SmackDown. Beginning in September, Raw will be called by Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett, which is the combo I did not expect, but that's awesome. And Michael Cole and Graves will handle the action on SmackDown. So when they go to Netflix, I don't know. I wonder if Graves is going to be on Raw then. Like, are they going to just go with Barrett and Tessitore? Maybe they have a new vision going forward. UFC greatly revised their commentary not too long ago, a handful of years ago. They just outright got rid of Mike Goldberg, brought in Jimmy Smith, and then now they have like Rogan with like ex-fighters primarily, and like now it's just mostly all ex-fighters. So we'll see, who knows. But you got to think Cole and Graves are like, fuck, man, we want to be the dudes on Netflix. Like, we earned that, but maybe not. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah. So the last thing I got for you guys here in Phil Marks bookmarks, Machine Gun Kelly. Everybody's cooking him. Everybody's just trashing him. Fucking Randy Orton called him Pinocchio. And it could be a work. Like, it could just be them working us into some sort of celebrity, some shit, but I just don't know. Like, because MGK is also talking shit about UFC fighter Sean Strickland, who would just literally kill him. So, I don't know, man. I think he might just really be, he's a mark for himself, or maybe he's not. Who fucking knows? But he's a clown. And yeah, Randy Orton apparently Well, let's just hear what MGK says. Apparently, he said "fuck you" to Orton or something like this, and backstage or in front of everyone. And we'll get into the tweets here. This shit is super goofy, though.
I was in the ring yesterday, just coming to say what's up to Logan and see what we could work out for the show. And I saw Randy Orton, and I remember seeing Randy Orton, talk shit about me, and I was like, I there's a point where I'm like, I'm gonna practice like a new version of myself, and then at 3, 2, 1, I'm like, fuck that, hey man, fuck you.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you did. I don't know where you were,
that.
but I remember all my boys were sitting there like,
oh no. No,
is this real? What is this part of the script? I don't know what's happening. But
are his boys like emos in a high school, like in that one music video where he's fucking, or are they like Cleveland gangsters or whatever? Like you never know with this fucking goofball. So yeah, I don't know. Randy Orton would slap the ever loving shit out of this dude is the thing, and yeah, he also went on Sean Strickland, which I'm not going to cover. But I guess I technically am, but yeah, it's like Sean Strickland will actually beat you up. He's really beat up influencers like at the Performance Center, or the Performance Institute. He's like, fucking show up here, and they show up, and he beat the shit out of a Marine who's an MMA fighter. There's this MMA fighter Marine or whatever who's like, nah, we like Marines are tougher than MMA fighters, and Strickland's like, okay, and he beat literally beat this guy so badly. I felt bad. I was like, this is like horrifying, So it's like, I don't know what MGK is trying to do here, but cameras were rolling. Tell WWE put that out. Like they got to be working us with this shit, right? And then he goes again and says, you have my number, and you know why you have it, by the way, but I won't even put you on blast for that. Check your texts. Like, I don't know, dude. To me, that's just clownness. Pinocchio. Like, all Orton did was just put the Pinocchio nose, and everyone's just cooking fucking MGK. Like, he's getting ratioed and all this shit. So, I don't know. Is he trying to he wants to wrestle, like be Bad Bunny, or is he just being a mark for himself and thinks he's being tough? I have no idea. I think if anything, it's probably somewhat of a work, but why are we going to get like Orton and Logan with MGK or some sort of thing? I don't know. But yeah, MGK is going to meet RKO, and that'll be the fucking end of that. So, yeah, guys, I want to thank you all for being here with me on this lovely evening, and round of applause for the chat tonight. I am I'm going to be streaming lots this weekend. I took some antibiotics, got to put rest, you know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go do that and just divulge in my life. But I appreciate you all so much. And yeah, at Pro Wrestle Times, at Pro Wrestle Clips, you already know. And yeah, I got some cool like interviews and hangouts coming in the future, and yeah, I'll be doing more shit on Patreon that I can't do on YouTube, and I appreciate you all. And yeah, Dynamite was mid as fuck, and good for Danielson though that he's not retiring. Told you. And but Jack Perry can go screw. And I'll see you guys in the Upside Down. And yeah, we literally I have that's what I want to say. I have a podcast tomorrow with Marie Shadows dropping in the morning, and we did Dave Meltzer. So don't worry, you didn't get flutes, but you'll get them tomorrow fresh in the morning for you. And I'll be going live a bunch this weekend, so expect to hear a bunch of me, and make sure you guys tune in. We're always doing giveaways and those sorts of things. I don't have anything planned for this weekend, but who knows? I don't know. Maybe we'll do nothing. Maybe we will. You just always tune in. You never know. So I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for being here, and I will leave you guys with, of course, as we do on the show, our favorite little outro skits and bits. I appreciate you all for being here, and yeah, worst outro ever. Peace.
I look and see it's not just me.
Jack, why do you insist on doing this dumb internet shit on TV?
I look and see it's not just me.
This place is a fucking joke, man. You're a clown. I quit.
So many of us of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild.
No. It doesn't make logical sense, but it makes.
Well, yes, of course.
But it makes wrestling booking sense. Of course, this makes no sense. Of course, okay, it makes no sense. However, in pro wrestling booking, which often makes no sense, you would do that. It's about making money. It's not about anything else. Wrestling has always been about making money first and foremost. That's it.
I look and see it's not just me.
Last weekend was the greatest weekend in AEW history. This is the greatest week.
I look and see it's not just me.
Security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. So many of us have stood where we stand. We are the young, so raise your hand. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. They call us problem child. We spend our lives on trial. We walk an endless mile. We are the youth gone wild. We stand and we won't fall. We're one and one for all. The writing's on the wall. We are the youth gone wild. Wild. Yeah!
If you're familiar with how we do things often here on these Wednesdays, it's a lot like one of my favorite movies, Time Cop.
What? Fuck you. Fuck you.
Yeah!
No! Damn it! Yeah! No! Damn it!
Ladies and gentlemen, shit's about to hit the fan.
The system is broken. It was time for a revolution. We could be the wrestlers that we want to be.
We have our own stories. We make our own characters.
Different. That's what makes us elite.
I've been forced to vacate the AEW World Trios Championship.
Fun created a revolution.
Show days, super chaotic. A lot of times we get here and we don't know what we're doing till hours, minutes before we go out there.
There literally are, I think some weeks, 100 talents running around backstage.
At that point, it caught Tony Khan's ear, and he started thinking, maybe I want to do this, and let's get together. And I guess the rest is history, right?
We're just getting started, but it's a great fight to start a great night.
Orange Cassidy in serious trouble.
This will be fun, right? I'm excited. Ready to go? Go to break.
Figured it out what works as a heel in the ring for me.
Austin wants to be here so bad.
Is it a break spot?
Not yet.
We need to build an army right now.